What is up, chillers? Thank you for joining us on this journey as we continue our quest to find the best year in horror ever. It's 1984, certainly a great year for movies in general, but what about horror specifically? I'm joined by my co-host and number one horror homeboy, Pete. Welcome, and how are you feeling about 1984, my dude?
Mate, I love 1984. I'm super excited about. Look, check it out, right? When you said 1984 last week, I know I had another year in mind straight away, but when you said 1984, I thought that's an opportunity for me to wear my fucking t-shirt, mate. Look at this shit, 1984. Come on,
nice, wicked, man, wicked. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. So yeah, I'm on board with 1984, mate. To be fair, you know, when you sent the list over this week, I thought there's a few there that I haven't seen. So religiously every night I've come home from work and, you know, the family have said, what are you doing tonight? And I've gone, I am watching horror movies from 1984. That's what I'm doing. So I've caught up on quite a few horror movies, and I've had some good times and some not so good times with it, mate. But I've enjoyed it. As far as new movies this week, Vass, I really only have watched the one. I think I mentioned it last week. I think it's called Switchback on Shudder, about the Ireland girls who stumble on kind of a John Carpenter's The Thing type alien. Great trailer. Was super excited about watching it. But alas, it just ran out of ideas. Everything good was in the trailer, unfortunately, you know. The actresses that played the girls weren't the strongest or anything like that. So a little bit disappointing. But, you know, ultimately, for a low-budget movie, you know, I would probably recommend checking it out, killing an hour and a half. It's not offensive. It's just not as great as I hoped it would be. That's it. And apart from that, mate, I'm not even going to count Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special as a movie or anything like that, although it was shit. I have watched only 1984 movies this week. What about yourself, Vass?
Yeah, there's been nothing to watch, man. Nothing to watch at all. I think I watched one on Shudder. It was called Sissy. It was called, a Shudder film. And to be fair, it was all right. It was okay. Really, really annoying characters, but you get used to them. A bit like that Bodies we watched a while back. They're really annoying at the beginning, but you start to get to know them, and it's got some good kills in it. The story's not bad. It's okay. It's on Shudder. It's worth a watch, I'd say. But,
okay.
Nothing more than that. It was okay. What else did I watch? I think I watched Bullet Train, that Brad Pitt movie. I know it's not horror, but I watched that, and I like that one. I thought it was pretty decent. Very quirky.
I liked it too, mate.
Go on.
Yeah, definitely. I had a good time with it, mate. It scoots on. It's a bit long.
It is, yeah.
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was fun, mate. I thought Brad Pitt was, you know, seems to be having a blast making the movie.
Yeah, he's very laid back and likable in that movie. Yeah, he's very laid back, isn't he?
Absolutely, mate. And even like Kick-Ass is in it, and he was really good in it. Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass's mate, I thought they were awesome. They kind of stole a lot of scenes that they were in. But no, really enjoyed it, mate. Really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I like that one as well. I like downloaded for like weeks, and I just never got around to watching it. And I thought there was nothing else to watch. I'll just get it watched, and I watched it. And I tell you what, one other thing I did watch, which I've never seen, and that was, and I don't know why I've not seen it. It's Scream 3. I've never seen Scream 3 before, and I watched that the other night. And honestly, man, it wasn't half bad. I didn't mind it one little bit. I think I liked it better than 4 and 5. So it was okay. No, I mean, it wasn't great. I mean, they just get worse and worse as they go. I mean, I think 5's a bit better than 4. I think, but 4, I hate 4. I can't stand 4. It's just annoying.
I know.
But 3's just it's watchable, and 2 is like the first 2/3 of 2 is wicked. I love it. Scream 2, and then just the last act just jumps the shark, in my opinion. To be honest, I'd take the first one and get if the rest didn't exist. I really would not mind at all. But
me too.
Yeah, I was expecting to be really, really bad, and it wasn't that bad at all. Had all these people liking it still.
I think the worst thing about Scream 3 for me, mate, is just how anorexic Courtney Cox looks in this movie, man, and that fucking fringe. What is going on with that fucking fringe, man? And Jesus. Yeah. But she's painfully thin. You know, every time she's on screen, I feel like going cooking a haggis supper for her or something like that, and saying, "Here, eat, pet, eat." But she's painfully thin in that movie. Like, but Jenny McCarthy in that film. Am I remembering right? There,
Yeah,
Jenny
she
McCarthy?
is. For a short amount of time, she is. Yeah.
Short amount of time now. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, it's throwaway. It's throwaway fun. It's not offensively bad or anything like that, but it's not
Yeah.
fantastically good either. You know what I
It
mean?
just doesn't have any of the magic. That's the problem. Just doesn't have the magic
100%.
as to the ones after it. That, in my opinion. Yeah. So look, 1984. There wasn't that many horror movies out in that year. Even less than 1983. So I'm happy we've got a few. I've got a few watched as well. You got a few watched. So I think the goal is to have as few not seen as possible to get like a really nice little picture for 1984. So I think we're going to be on track with that one. But before we get to that, we've got our new segment, which is the quiz. And I've even made an intro for it. So let's stick the intro on and we'll do the quiz.
Pop quiz, asshole. You have a hair trigger aimed at your head. What do you do?
What do you do?
Love it,
Are you ready
love
for the
it.
quiz piece?
I was born ready. Let's go.
Yeah, come on, man. So what? Look, 1984. We were like 8 years old in 1984. So I don't expect you to get all of them. And I've got a few more questions, just generally about 1984 as well. And let's just see how we get on. If there's anyone in the chat there, you can also join in. So the first question's obvious. What was the highest grossing movie worldwide in 1984?
Ghostbusters, easy.
Here you go.
Ghostbusters.
Worldwide, no, it was not Ghostbusters, mate. It was not.
In 1984. Oh, wait there, hold on. Was it Beverly Hills Cop?
It was Beverly Hills Cop, which is surprisingly. I think in America it was Ghostbusters, but worldwide for some reason it was Beverly Hills Cop, which is strange because that's like a very American sort of centric film, isn't it? With the humor and all that. But yeah, that's like the highest grossing movie of 1984. I found that quite surprising. And Ghostbusters was second.
Was definitely Ghostbusters.
Can you guess what was third?
Third. Gremlins.
Yeah. Close. It was almost Gremlins, but it's not. What is it?
Third. Well, it's got to be Ghostbusters.
You call him Dr. Jones. You call him Dr. Jones.
Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom was third, and fourth was Gremlins, like you say. Now, can you guess what was fifth? Fifth. I've got a clue. I don't know if you can see, but there's a clue there, mate. If you look, there's a clue.
The Karate Kid.
The Karate Kid, mate, was fifth. That's a really good top five, though. There, have you got it on there?
The Karate Kid's there.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
that's a really good top five, that isn't it? Of the year.
That is
all
a
bangers
really
there.
good top five.
All brilliant. Right, okay. The next question is, what movie won Best Picture / Director at the Academy Awards at the Oscars? Can you guess? It was the 56th annual Academy Awards. What movie won Best Picture Director?
I'm guessing it's none of the movies on my T-shirt.
No, it wasn't. It's the Oscars we're talking about.
1984. It's got to be some shit like On Golden Pond or something like that.
I mean, you're not far off, mate. Shall I just tell you? Does anybody in the chat know? Let's quickly go to the chat and see if anybody in the chat knows. And we'll have a look at these comments as well. Okay, there's my wife there. Hi, Google. Let's put it on the screen, God damn it. Hi, guys. Hi, babe. Gareth here. Might as well stop at 84 as it's a peak year. Yeah, in movies in general, there's not many years better than 1984. I'm struggling to think of one. But horror might be a different story. Hassan says hello. Hello, Sunny.
Hello.
Dave Boostie's here. Hi, Dave, mate.
Hey.
I think we're doing pretty well. I hope you're well as well, mate.
Yes.
Dave says I got to see the Karate Kid one in the theaters back and actually paid for it as well.
Oh, well done, mate.
Wow.
Well done.
And Rabbi says hi, Dave. And Gareth says haven't done my 1984 Best Picture video yet. Ooh, so he probably knows the answer. Give us the answer.
Yeah.
You know what? Chariots of Fire, which I also saw in theaters. I think Chariots of Fire was like 1980 or something, wasn't it? But I'm just going to tell you, Pete, because
okay, tell me.
There's no. You were 8 years old. There's no reason why you should know this. But it was Terms of Endearment.
Oh, for
Won
fuck's
Best
sake.
Picture in 1984, and the director was James L. Brooks.
Okay,
So
I wouldn't have got
I've made this a little bit harder for you, mate, because I think
Yeah.
last 6 was too easy. So this is the next question: is what was the number one selling album of 1984?
Well, it's got to be Thriller, mate, because I know it was released in 1983, but I'm pretty sure it went on to sell and sell and sell and sell for years on end. Did it
Wasn't,
not?
mate. It wasn't. It was The Boss, mate. It was The Boss. Who was it?
Was it Bruce Springsteen? Was it?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And yeah, it was Born in the USA was the highest selling album, and that's crazy. That I've never even heard the album. I maybe heard a couple of songs from it. And guess what number bloody Purple Rain was? Prince Purple Rain, which is my favorite album of 1984. Guess what number that was?
I'm going to go, because you seem pretty shocked by it, so I'm going to go 6.
No, it was third. It was third, but it should have been number
Right.
1. God damn it!
Yeah.
Prince Purple Rain was number 3. All right, okay. So what was the number 1 song? I'll say in the UK because I keep getting different things on here. In the UK, what was the number 1 song of 1984? It was a big song, mate. It was a big song with lots of different people in it.
Oh, Band-Aid.
Band-Aid, mate. It was, yeah. Do They Know It's Christmas?
Band-Aid,
And
yes.
okay, so 1984, the follow-up to V came out, the V the Final Battle,
Oh, yeah.
which is also pretty awesome. But
Yep.
what was the number 1 TV show of 1984? It was quite related to the one that was in 1983, mate. If you remember that, it's quite related to that
Dynasty.
one. It was Dynasty, mate. It was. It was Dynasty. Good lord. All right, okay. Now he's the last time you put petrol in your car, mate. How much was the petrol? Do you remember? How much was it when last time you put petrol in the car? A liter.
What, like just now? It's like
Yeah.
183. 183.
Right. So how much was it in 1984? The average price of petrol. Can you guess? If it's £1.80 something now, I think I got it for £1.60 something. Must be expensive up where you are, mate. Good lord.
No, I've got a diesel, so I'm getting hammered.
Oh, have you?
'cause I'm
Okay.
Yeah,
Pretend we're talking about petrol.
Okay. So 1984, I'm going to say 40 pence a litre.
God damn, that was so close, Pete. It was 39 pence a litre.
Wow.
Spot on,
You know,
mate. Oh my god, that was so
I
close.
remember my dad used to take a tenner and he'd fill his car up with a tenner. So that's why I was doing the math.
Can you believe it, guys? 1984, 39 pence per litre. Good.
That is fucking mental.
Right, okay. Next question is, what was the average price for a cinema ticket in 1984? I've got 2 prices here, one for England and one for America. But let's go with the England one. How much was it for a cinema ticket, average price in 1984?
I'm going to say £1.50.
Again, pretty close. It was £1.91.
Ooh,
Cheap,
what a
cheap,
bargain, man! Definitely.
cheap. Yeah, I know. And in America, it was $3.30 in America. I don't know how much it is now for a cinema ticket in America. I'm guessing it's probably over $10 or something. But yeah. And the last question, Pete. Okay. Who famously was rushed to hospital with second-degree burns from pyrotechnics while filming a commercial?
It was Michael Jackson.
Easy question, yeah.
Ow!
It was.
Yes. That's where the stain came out. Me hair's on fire.
Well done, then, man. Pete, you did really well there.
Thank you. I like this quiz, man. I like the quizzes. We should just sack the list. Let's do quizzes all night. It'll be fine.
Totally, man. Yeah, that's a good one. We'll keep that as a regular segment.
Definitely.
Let's see if there's any more comments there. Let's have a look. Dave says movie tickets, especially for matinees back then, were mad cheap too. That's why I think a lot of people, especially me, got to see a lot of movies repeatedly in the theaters. Besides, of course, the times when they were free. Totally, man. I mean, that's what keeps me away from going to the cinema is how far I have to go, and also the building one in Bishop now apparently the cinema.
Oh, really?
I don't know what kind. Yeah,
about time, man. About time. You know, in Edinburgh, they're about to close a few. They're closing the Film House, which is the Film House is always been that flagship cinema of the Edinburgh Film Festival. So there's loads of people campaigning against that, and I do believe, we're about to lose the View Cinema, which is our IMAX cinema in Edinburgh, because I think View's going bankrupt, I believe. So whether
I thought it was Cineworld that was going bankrupt.
Sorry, Cineworld. Yeah, Cineworld. Sorry, Cineworld. So yeah, that's our IMAX screen, Cineworld. So we're about to lose that. So hopefully someone buys it, and we don't lose the old IMAX, like, because it's something that I do like.
Yeah. Let's have a look here. All right. Okay. So in America, I'll say $5 to $6 for matinee tickets. An average ticket, probably about $8. Maybe I'll just stop. Yeah, I think it was a lot cheaper back then. Yeah, we were a bit off there, mate. Yeah, I think it was a bit too easy, that question, but yeah, well done, Dave. Right, I think what was that last one? Okay, so nowadays it's like $15 to go see a movie in America.
Wow.
Plus popcorn and whatnot equals out at like $20 or more. Yeah, expensive these days, isn't it?
Yeah, what happens when like Avatar 2 comes out and everybody's having to buy? Because I think they're going to have to buy 3D glasses again if you don't already have them left over from 2008 or something when the last 3D movie was on. Yeah, so you're going to have to buy them again. So movie tickets are going to go higher for that. Let me ask you something, Vasi. Right, Avatar 2. Do you give a shit or not?
I didn't give it. I didn't like the first one, mate. I think I watched it once. It took me years to get around to watching it, and I watched it and I went, "Okay, that was Avatar, blue people, awesome." And I can move on. Nah, mate, I was. But you know, it's the biggest movie of all time, so it's got its fans, isn't it? So I think it'll do well, like worldwide. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like a year ago, we were thinking, I think he's made a mistake doing this, because we were thinking all the cinemas are going to shut down and all this business with COVID and all that.
Yep.
But everything's kind of gone back to quite well, like quite close to how it was before, I think. So
yeah, definitely. We'll see. It feels like it's 10 years too late. But you know, like you said, the movie's got its fans, like scary fans who dress up blue every year and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see.
All right, last comment, and we're going to get into the best year in horror. Dave says it's typical like $30 for the whole experience. I guess that's per person. I think nowadays it's pathetic and horrible, terrible. Yeah. You two just don't like blue people.
It's true.
Just those particular blue people. Yeah, I did see the trailer for the new Avatar. It looks like a fucking cartoon. Looks like a cartoon, or like those bits you get in the video games. You know, the
cutscenes.
Yeah, cutscenes.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like a PlayStation 4 or a PlayStation 5 cutscene. But hey ho.
Dave says, to me personally, over here, the concession stand prices, the ticket prices, the assigned seating, the crowds, they are just annoying with their phones and everything. It just ruins the movie experience. Yeah, totally, man.
Yeah.
Dr. Impossible, Counterpunch 1984, Avatar 2 equals the Smurfs 2 underwater. Well
so
said.
true. So true.
Absolutely. Right, let's get on to this. Oh, actually, you know, that reminds me, since Dr. Impossible's come on here. Look, a point of order. Last week's show, Dr. Impossible made the claim that Oliver Stone was in Twilight Zone the movie in that final segment as a pilot. I did check. I was skeptical, and I said so, and I did check. And no, I don't think he was. He was not. He wasn't. I think I can say with confidence, Oliver Stone is not in Twilight Zone the movie. Okay, so if you have anything otherwise to say, I'll need to see proof. Citation, please. But let's move on. Right, so we're going to start our best year in horror, 1984. Let's get the tier list up.
Yep.
And let me just share the screen. Oh man. Can we see it? Is it on there?
Here it is. Here it is.
Right, yeah. Okay, there's our selection of movies. And all right, cool. Let's actually, just before, let's have a look at the scorecard of what we've done so far. We're on episode 3 now. A little video here as well. Let's stick it on. So 1982 was 50 points, and 1983 last week was 44 points.
Yep.
Let's see where we get to with 1984. Shall we begin?
Let's begin, my friend.
And we start with one of the best. It's A Nightmare on Elm Street, Pete.
What can you say about Elm
I know where
Street,
it's going to go, but go on.
Yeah, listen, it's
Continue.
it's a classic. I've watched it, maybe certainly in the double figures over the years. It's a movie that I've introduced to my kids, and it's a bit of a masterpiece, mate. It's not perfect, but it's damn near perfect, mate. So it's S tier for me all day long. S tier.
I've got to agree with them. This is not one of the ones I watched this week because I don't need a refresher on this. I've watched it many times. I love it. It's my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie, the first one. I think when it comes to like slasher franchises, unlike Friday the 13th, it's the first Nightmare on Elm Street's my favorite. The first Halloween's my favorite. The first Child's Play is my favorite. Friday the 13th is, of course, is Jason Lives, but this one cannot be beat. It is fantastic. I mean, all the things that don't completely work, I can give it a pass because it's just for the nostalgia, because it's just such a brilliant film overall, and it's creepy and scary, and Freddy Krueger's iconic, is he not?
And
so I'll agree with that.
Freddy's actually scary in this movie as well. He's dark and twisted, and I like him the best in this movie. Like, he's not wisecracking or anything like that. He has the odd quip, right enough, but generally, he's out to kill you, and that's it. Like, it's a great piece of filmmaking. It's Wes Craven, I think, at his very best.
I think he got nearly everything right in this one, didn't he? Yeah. I've got to say though, Pete, I think I prefer the way Freddy looks in the second movie, in Freddy's Revenge. I think Freddy looks a bit scary in that one.
He's got the whole
his eyes and his teeth look a bit more scary, and I think he looks really awesome in Freddy's Revenge. But this is a better movie. Yeah. So let's put that up in S tier, and we're gonna kick off with an S tier movie for 1984. So
good
it's all
start,
looking good there. Okay, our second movie is Bloodbath at the House of Death.
Yes,
which stars the inimitable Kenny Everett. Have you seen it, Pete?
I have not seen this movie, mate. I have not.
I have seen this movie, mate. I only watched that totally just out of curiosity, like a couple of years ago. And it was exactly what I expected. I mean, I don't know how this would have played back in 1984, but it's not funny. It's just goofy and stupid. It's not very good, Pete.
Oh man,
I'm trying to think of something kind to say about it, and there's really nothing. It was hard to get through. I've got to be honest. Okay. I was watching it and I was just rolling my eyes. It was a bit cringy, bit naff. I don't know. I think let's stick that in DP because it's just not a very good movie.
No problemo.
That's going to go in D. Bloodbath at the House of Death. What were they thinking? I do not know. Right. And the next movie on the list is Body Double, Pete. Brian De Palma. Have you seen this movie?
I watched it this week for the first time, mate. When you sent over the list, I was like, ooh, there's a Brian De Palma film here I haven't seen. Fantastic. Okay, this is a good excuse to watch this. So I fired it on, mate, and I watched it. Now, what I will say, mate, is all the things that make Brian De Palma a fantastic filmmaker are in this movie. The scene setup, the camera work, the Hitchcockian way of telling the story. It's all there. The only problem for me was,
did you not find it was it's a bit Vertigo there, bit of Rear Window in there.
Yeah. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. The problem for me was, mate, the lead I thought was weak as piss. And
that's exactly what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally, man.
Fantastic. And I thought generally the story just made no real sense. To be fair, I mean, it was almost comic book like the way that the story panned out. So believability goes out of the window, and therefore you think to yourself, well, what am I actually watching here? I'm not watching a horror film. I'm not watching a thriller because it doesn't really make any sense. So in the end, mate, what I did was I just sacked the story off a little bit and just watched the beautiful visuals and the beautiful score that was there. It's I'm pleased I watched it.
The music was good, wasn't it? The music
very
was
good,
especially
very
when
good, very good.
Time he was looking through those binocular things, that music that came on, really liked it, man.
Yeah,
you have to use that music
good.
in something.
No, I mean it's a bit nudie. I was watching it in my bedroom. My son kept coming in. I had to pause, and every time he came in, there was a pair of titties on the screen. He was like, "What is Dad doing?" And that, and I was like, "Oh."
What was going on with the Frankie Goes to Hollywood? What happened there? That was such a surprise when I saw that, Pete. I was like,
Man,
"Oh my god!"
It turns into a Frankie
so
Goes. Yeah, exactly.
It was good, but that was not expected at all. And he was singing "Relax."
When I was talking
"Oh my god, it's like a music video in the middle of the movie."
When I was talking about weird logic, he was like, I need to meet that woman. I know what I'll do. I'll audition as a porn star, become a porn star, nail her on screen just so I can have a private conversation with her at the bar. I'm like, that going,
Yeah.
You know, maybe that was the most long-winded way of meeting her. You know, maybe just hang outside when she comes out from work and say, "Excuse me, miss, can I have a word?" You know, rather than going through, you've just put yourself on film for the rest of your life, boning somebody. It's anyway. So for me, mate, I can only score this movie for De Palma's filmmaking and the score. So I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it C. I'm going to give it C.
A C?
Yeah. Are you thinking B?
I disagree, homeboy.
I've got to say, Pete, you know what was strange? I could have sworn I'd seen this movie before, and right. I think I keep confusing this movie with Dress to Kill. I don't know why I keep doing that, but I've seen Dress to Kill a few times, and I could have sworn I'd seen Body Double as well. But when I started watching it, and I was like, I've not seen this movie before. I was quite surprised. I thought I'd seen just about all of Brian De Palma's movies, and I had not seen this movie, and it was crazy, man. I didn't expect it to be so seedy. It's like really, really kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I think you hit the nail on.
I was not expecting that.
No, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, mate. There are scenes in Body Double, lots of scenes in Body Double that you have seen before in De Palma movies, but in better De Palma movies. This is the weak link. But again, filmmaking wise, score wise, I can't fault it. It's.
I mean, I'll agree with you there, Pete. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think the filmmaking techniques on show are better than the actual story. Yeah, but it was I found it super pleasing to watch, like the visual storytelling, and it just got better and better because some of the acting is, I don't know, man. It was that bit where that dude steals the lady's bag and he's chasing him and he goes in the tunnel and then he starts getting claustrophobia and then she comes and she helps him out. And then they have that kissing scene, and it was like, oh my god, it was like it was so bad. I was like, I can't believe this is Brian De Palma's doing this. The acting was awful. It was hammy. It was like so cheesy and corny.
Do you know who the best actor was in that film, Vass? It was the fucking dog. It was that dog that attacks him, man. It's fucking just like Jesus. It was terrifying, that bit. The fucking dog gets it for me. Star of the film.
Yeah, but I agree. I wasn't a fan of the main guy. He's the dude from Dream Warriors, isn't it? It's that guy. They should have got somebody better than him. It was nice to see some screen queens in there. Like Barbara Crampton was in at the beginning.
That's right.
For like 2 seconds.
Naked.
Totally, yeah. And I spotted Brink Stevens in there as well, in one of the fake porny films. And I like the look of the killer. With all that makeup on his face, he looked quite freaky and scary. But I thought the film night though, it just got better and better. And that kill, I thought it was when he's got that big drill. I thought that was amazing. That man.
To be fair with you,
so much fun watching that, man. It was like from the time he sees what's happening and he has to get to her, And that whole scene there, man, it was like totally suspenseful and like exciting. And
Well,
like
that's the filmmaker.
the dog's on top of him, and he sees the
Yeah.
drill coming through the ceiling with all the blood
Yeah,
dripping
yeah.
off. Oh
Yeah.
man, I was like jumping for joy. I was enjoying it so much. But yeah, man, I thought it just got better and better as it went through, and I really liked it.
Fair play. What you thinking for this one, then?
I'm thinking to stick in the B there because I thought overall, how I was, it's it's not often where I finish watching a horror film, and I'm like buzzing. And I was at the end of that movie. I was just like I had so much fun, even though it started off a bit, a bit iffy, a bit dodgy at the beginning, but it just got better and better and better. And I had a blast with it. By the end of it, I was in a proper good mood. I was like, oh, God, I enjoyed that, man. I really enjoyed that. And it was like I thought it was total fun. I would stick it in B, Pete. But if you want to put it in C, I'll stick it in C.
No, do it. Stick it in B.
Are you sure, man?
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right. But I can't believe I've not watched that movie before. It was a proper, really, really big surprise. So let's go on then. Let's stick that in B.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really like sleazy. I've got to say, this is probably the only, like, honest to God, sleazy film that I actually liked. But it was just because of the skill of craftsmanship of Brian De Palma.
The content is sleazy, but it's very stylishly done. It's not like New York Ripper sleazy or anything like that.
Yeah. No, I had a cool time with that movie on Pete. Let's quickly have a look at some comments.
No problem.
And let's got a few here. Okay. Right, so Dave says, to me personally, over here, the concession stand... Have I just read that one?
We've done that one.
I have read that one, yeah. And the Smurfs, we've read that one as well. Dave says, I did not like the original Avatar. I give it a 2 out of Boosty 10. The effects were great, but the story was boring and cardboard and silly. I think I'd agree with everything you say there, mate. Yeah. Dave says, I think 1982 had better horror movies than 83. 83 had a lot of movies, but most of them to me were subpar or so bad they're kind of entertaining types.
I would agree with that.
Video Tasty said starts off okay. Are we talking about I'm not sure what he's talking about there.
No, not me.
Dave says I give Nightmare on Elm Street a 9 out of Boosty 10. Here I'll give it an A.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I can't fuck with Nightmare on Elm Street, man.
No.
Dave says I'll give Children of the Corn an 8.5. Oh, that's coming on pretty soon, isn't it? Out of Boosty 10. I even read the book while watching the movie completely for the second time when I watched it again. It's a good short book. Is it just a short story? Is it like a short? I thought it was a full novel. Huh? I'll give Children of the Corn a B. Actually, I'll give Nightmare on Elm Street 9.5 out of Boosty 10 on second thoughts. Yeah, man, think about it. Think about it. We're talking Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. Dave says, fun trivia. I can actually even talk like Freddy Krueger ever since a little kid. That's one of the many voices I've picked up.
That's awesome.
Dave says I got to see Chud in the theaters for free, and I'll give it a 8 out of Boosty 10. Here I'll give it a B+.
I'd like to see the movie Chad, man. By the way,
Chad too, bad the Chad. Yeah. Jim's Retro Emporium. Hi, mate. Hi, Jim. Evening all. Nice to see you here.
Hello.
Dr. Impossible. I went back and watched The Twilight Zone, the movie last week. My dearly beloved wife stated that she thought it looked like stone, but trying to find the acting question was a pain in the bum. Yeah, in there, dude. She's not there. Never mind. Dave says I'll give Firestar a 7 out of Boosty 10. You're getting well ahead of us here, man. I've even read the book here, and I'll give it a C. Dave says I'll give Body Double a 7.5 out of Boosty 10. Here I'll give it a B-. That's what I thought. B is a good place for it. Dr. Impossible, the actor name playing the pilot was John Dennis Johnson, and fully enough, Johnson has been mistaken for young Oliver Stone. Is that right? Is that
well,
right?
He has by you.
Yeah, I think by you and that's enough. Dave says Dreamscape I got to see for free in the theaters again, thanks to the same friend that I have. I'll give it here a B, an 8 out of Boosty 10. Interesting.
Dave will be finished the list in about 10 minutes, mate. You know what I mean? He's getting his jacket, man. He's like that, right? See you later, lads. I'm off.
Flying through them. Sam says, who are your favourite horror directors and directors? Everyone knows my top 2 are John Carpenter and Brian De Palma as it happens. You, Pete?
John Carpenter, and for second, I'm going to have to go with. Well, I mean, he's done a bit of horror, but I'm going to have to go with Friedkin because I just think he's an all-round fucking great director. Like a bit of a maverick, guy. He's the last of the Hollywood Mavericks.
What was the last William Friedkin film that you saw that you really thought was excellent?
Sorcerer.
Was it the Sorcerer?
Sorcerer, yeah.
No, I mean like in order of when he made them. That's like
right, okay.
40 years old, man.
Yeah, good point.
Sorcerer is good though. I enjoyed the Sorcerer, especially like the last 45 minutes of it.
Yeah,
is very good.
The last great one, and I haven't seen it since, but I really liked The Guardian when I saw The Guardian for the first time. But that's the last freaking really movie. I liked Bug, but it was too depressing. It was great, fantastic.
You couldn't half tell it was based on a stage play or something because it was very like insular and
100%,
like one room sort of film, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Yeah, that had its moments, but I've got to be honest, mate. I don't rate him that much. I think when he's great, but he's not great very often, in my opinion. And have you watched The Guardian again recently? Because I don't think it holds up at all, mate. I don't think it holds up at all.
I think I've heard you talking about it before, and I was like, God damn,
yeah, you should check it out again, man, Pete. I was really looking forward to watching it again, and because I had such good memories of watching it. Like, I'm sure I watched it with you. Like, it was one of the ones where we went together to the video shop, and we all decided to watch The Guardian. I don't think it was for the first time either, and we had a really, really good time with it, didn't we? I
also remember the wolves being really scary, and So, I mean, I'm trying to think. Horror directors, you caught me kind of off guard there. I mean, we all know it's John Carpenter's my favorite, but I
suppose Wes Craven's going to be there, isn't it?
I suppose, Wes Craven's got to be up there, mate.
He's very hit and miss, though.
He is hit and miss, mate. He is. Mate. I always struggle to pronounce his name, mate. It's Pascal Laugier, who made Martyrs. I do like his body of work so far. He can tell a good story, he can knit a good yarn together, and he's a decent filmmaker. I think he needs slightly bigger scope projects, to be fair, but he's a genuine talent. But there's loads out there, you know what I mean? And next year we might have different answers for you.
You know who I used to really rate? But that was really only up to the end of the 90s, was Robert Rodriguez. I thought he was wicked, man. I love The Faculty, I love Desperado, From Dusk Till Dawn, and then he started making kids films and things, and then I don't know, man. He's left me cold since the 2000s. He's just, I don't know what he's up to.
Yeah,
but he doesn't know how to.
I liked
be happy anymore with his films.
Oh, what was that movie called? I liked his last kind of big screen effort, the James Cameron movie, Alita Battle Angel. I really liked.
Yeah, you like that shit?
I loved it. I thought it was great. Because I loved it. I loved it.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for you, man. I didn't rate it at all, man. Right. Okay. So what was that last movie we just done? Can't remember. We just done Body Double, right? Okay, and the next movie is Boggy Creek 2, which is a Bigfoot film. I've not seen any of the Boggy Creeks, mate. Have you?
No, I've not seen this one, buddy.
No, me neither. Actually, let me just quickly get this comment off the screen. And so we'll stick that in the not seen. So we're gonna have some not seen there. There we go. And can I just read this comment here? It says, "It's Forgotten World of Movies." Hi, pal. Amadeus. No, Amadeus was the year after. So it came out, and it did come out in 1984, but it was in the 1980, like it was in the Oscars for the year after. Right. So it did win all of them in that year. So technically, it was the 57th Academy Awards. But good try, mate. Good try.
Yeah.
Right. So the next movie on the list is Children of the Corn, Pete. Are you a fan of this movie?
Do you know what? I like it, mate. I like it. It's got its moments where it's creepy. The kids are quite effective. I like the build up to the movie where they're driving around. Although Linda Hamilton is pretty much the dumbest person in the world in this movie. Like the amount of kind of like red flags that come her way that she completely ignores. Like right enough. But yeah, it's an okay movie, mate. It's unsettling. I'm not going to say terrifying, but it's unsettling enough that it keeps you entertained and it keeps you kind of scared. For me, it's probably a B film. It's probably a B film.
B, wow. Yeah, I like it too, mate. Pete. I know a lot of people don't like this movie for some reason, but I think it's fine as a Stephen King adaptation. I think they did it well. It definitely has some memorable moments in it, especially in that first section. Yeah, it's a decent film. I mean, I would stick it in C, but I'll defer to you on this one because you let me stick Body Double in B, so we'll stick that one in B as well, mate. Just for you.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. And let's have a look. The next movie is Chud, mate. Chud. Chud. What do you think of the Chud?
Well, I've got a guilty confession here, mate, with Chud. Up until very recently, I'd only seen bits and bobs of it. And bits and bobs, not enough to say that I'd seen the film. So I actually sat down last night and watched it all the way through.
Okay, well, for the first time?
For the first time, yeah. For the first time.
The hell took you so long?
I know. I mean, what I will say, mate, is the poster is better than the film. It's a great poster, I have to say. It's good. I mean, the cast are really good. There's nobody that's a bad actor really in the movie, and they're all perfectly believable. And this is a good cast. Even John Goodman's in there, which I was quite surprised at. The first, I would say, 3/4 of this movie are just dull, man, dull as dishwasher. To a point where there's no actual soundtrack or musical score. It's dialogue, and then you'll get a couple of flashes of, or he's something that might be scary, but guess what? We'll go away now and tell the story of the copper again, and you're like, oh, where's my Chud in my Chud movie, man? And then I have to say,
there's not much monster action in it, is there? Yeah,
totally.
Not much monster action in it, is there?
I have to say, the last 25% of the movie, though, mate, it does ramp up. And the monsters come into play, and generally they look quite good, mate. And the gore's quite gory and everything like that. And the pacing turns quite nice, but the pacing all the way through the movie up until that point is all over the shop. There's a scene where the main female from the movie, she's in the shower and it blocks, so she sticks a coat hanger down the plug hole. And the blood, for reasons unknown, just squirts right in her face, and she goes, oh, she's got blood all over her. And then the camera cuts away and it tells a different part of the story. And then it comes back to her and she's not scared or anything like that. She's arranging flowers in a flat. And I'm like, another one who can't read a red flag. Leave! Something bad is about to happen, man. Exactly. But she doesn't. So the last 25%, mate, I thought it was a good little schlock B movie, monster movie. And I liked the last 25% of it. So for me, I'm going to give it a C.
Yeah, I'll totally agree with him. It's perfectly fine. It's watchable. You're right. It does take a long time to get going, but I do like the chuds in there. But I mean, for the first half of it, you really just see the eyes and like the claws grabbing onto people, and you don't see much other than that until the last act. It's perfectly fine. We'll stick it in C because it's where's it gone? It's like a one-time watch. Shit. Oh, there it is there. We'll stick that in C, mate.
No problem.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Right, before we get onto threads, let's have a look at these comments. Dr. Impossible, Craig Watson, that's his name, from Body Double, was pretty good in Body Double, but he did an ace film set during the Irish Troubles called The Outsider. Olive Films released it through Paramount. Yeah, man, the guy, I don't think he has that much screen presence, to be honest, in my opinion. It was a funny choice of casting there. If they just got someone really decent, I think it would have made that movie even better.
Do you know what he strikes me as? He strikes me as a supporting actor, not a leading man. I think
he struggles to carry the film. He struggles to carry the film.
100%.
I mean, Yeah. Agreed. Backtrack Cinema's in again. Hi, mate. We are great, mate. I hope you're doing well. Let's get that one first. Dave says, I'm only posting out of order just so that I can catch up a bit in a good way. By the time you guys talk about one movie and I rate it up, guys are already onto another movie, so it's just funny timing. Yeah, man, we get it.
Yeah.
Backtrack Cinema says 1984 is so good. It is one of my, like, generally speaking, it's one of my favorite years in movies in general. But there were so few horror films in there. I stick some stuff in there that I wouldn't traditionally think of as horror, but they had enough horror elements to just pull it into this tier list.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to go with it. Otherwise, there'll only be a handful of films to go through, which wouldn't be fair in 1984 because it's such a good year.
Exactly.
Dave says The Guardian was okay. I don't remember too much of it. I'd have to rewatch it in order to give it a proper rating. While my rating, opinion wise, I remember it being okay. Yeah, I think it's. We were expecting. I don't know. It was good when we were kids, but I mean, when you think about it, William Friedkin making another horror film after The Exorcist, you think it's going to be something extra special, but it's. When I watched it the second time, man, it was pretty well. Not the second time, like recently, it was just so run of the mill and average and
standard horror film, yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit silly, all a bit silly.
Okay.
But there was some fun to be had there. Backtrack Cinema says final chapter in Nightmare on Elm Street. If you count Terminator as horror, we do in this tier list.
We certainly do.
Yeah, there are some crackers in here.
Definitely.
Dave says I'll get Friday the 13th Part 4 and 9.5 out of Boosty 10.
Bloody hell.
9.5 out of Boosty 10.
Bloody hell.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
He likes that film, man.
Let's have a look here. Look at the last one. Friday the 13th Part 4 had Crispin Glover in it. A lot of great deaths. Had a bunch of great effects and also had a great ending. Too bad the guy who played Jason recently died. Was that right?
Yeah. Oh, incidentally, mate, just before you read this comment here, do you know we've been talking about Sword and the Sorcerer recently?
Mm-hmm.
The director died this week. A couple of weeks ago, his wife went on social media and said, "Do you guys mind, sending my husband your best wishes? Reading them, and it really is making a difference." And I even popped the message over, said, "Thank you for Sword and the Sorceress. It's great. It's great." But he passed away, I think, today, mate. Rest in peace, you legend. Absolutely,
man. Rest in peace. He said Alexander Ajay is one of my favorite hard directors. Yeah, he's definitely like had a good run of like solid horror films.
Yeah.
Some amazing, some very good. I don't think there's any I don't like of his.
No, I like them all.
The Backtrack Cinema. Ted White did recently passed away. He was John Wayne's stunt double in Rio Bravo.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Right, mate, let's get on to this next movie, which is Threads. And you know what, Pete? I've not seen Threads since I was a kid. It must be mid-80s sort of time I watched it. Late 80s. Didn't have much memory of it. But I watched it again, and man, it was. I don't know. You go first, and I'll go afterwards, mate, Pete.
Okay.
This was one depressing movie, man. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, it is. I mean, I only saw Threads recently when all this nuclear talk with Russia was kicking off. Someone went, "Oh, this is like the movie Threads," and I thought, I'm going to watch this. So I watched it, I streamed a copy of it, and then the following day I went out and got the Blu-ray of it. I think Threads is terrifying. Like, it's fucking far too realistic for its own good. What's depicted on that film is just absolutely horrific. Do you know, on the inside of the Blu-ray, it mentions about the making of Threads and all that, right? And it says on the information in the Blu-ray that the word has it that Ronald Reagan watched Threads and changed his nuclear policy on the back of watching Threads.
Really?
Yeah, man, and that's on the inside.
I mean,
of the cover.
it's a made for TV. It's made for TV, wasn't it?
Made for TV by the BBC, who
Yeah.
were competing against America. America were doing an end of the world movie about nuclear attacks as well.
Yeah.
But theirs was going to cinema. But they went through and just did their own thing, and what they came up with was just something completely harrowing. The explosion and the nuclear weapons going off is only half the story. This movie goes on and on and on, and it depicts the absolute devolution of society as we know it, even the devolution of language as we know it.
Yeah, I know
and
that as well. Yeah,
you notice that, man. It's so fucking horrific, but it's an absolute masterwork. On a low budget, what they've achieved with this, I think it's a stunning piece of film. It's S tier all day long for me.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant, but it's like super depressing, relentlessly grim all the way through. It's not one I'm gonna come back to, but yeah, man. When I was watching it, I was thinking,
I believe this movie.
Exactly.
It's just like it was very convincing. It was super convincing.
Can I just ask you there, but is that a Threads Panini sticker album cover? Fucking, was there a sticker album?
It is. It is, mate. Yeah, can you believe that? A sticker album of Threads. Who the hell would want to? Like, that's like it's mad.
That is brilliant, man. That is brilliant. Well, I've never. Like I say, mate, it knocked my socks off, this film, and it's one of those ones that I want to watch again at some point, but maybe I'll wait a few years, until I stop having nightmares from the first time that I watched.
It's the kind of film that people need to see at least once.
Yeah,
but I mean, that's really enough, to be honest. I mean, that's enough, but it needs to be seen. It needs to be seen.
Absolutely.
It's definitely got something to say, and it says it really, really well. Like, it's a real punch in the gut when you watch it. I totally agree, man. I don't know, man. I personally, because I don't know, I like my movies like I like them to have a thrill and a sense of fun, but this is the total opposite. But it is a brilliant movie, so let's put it in S tier.
Thank you, mate.
I'll go along with
that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's something special. It is definitely something special.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I wonder if they'll make something like that again. I don't know. Don't know if they can do that twice.
No, absolutely.
Right, the next movie, Pete, is The Company of Wolves by Neil Jordan.
Neil Jordan.
When was the last time you watched this movie?
I think about 5 or 6 years ago. I think it was on TV and I caught it again, mate. I think
it was a couple of years since I've seen it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I remember it being quite, it's very fairy tale like, very whimsical. I think its message is all men are bad people. Don't trust them at all. I think the wolf is a euphemism, but. It's a movie that I don't particularly care for, apart from the transformation scene. I think the transformation scene's excellent and very well done, and it's scary, and I really like it, ripping the face off and all that, and the hands and stuff like that. It's excellent. But for the rest of the movie, mate, I can take it or leave it, mate, to be honest. So, for the transformation scene alone and Neil Jordan's filmmaking, I guess, because he is a good filmmaker, I'll give it a B.
A B? Oh, I wouldn't give it that high, but
no,
it's I mean, I enjoyed the movie. It's not like a rip-roaring, entertaining movie or anything, but it's like you say, it's got that sort of fairy tale quality to it, and it's got very nice visuals, and it's got some striking scenes in there. Personally, though, it's not really my cup of tea, I've got to say. I didn't find it scary at all. And that thing about beware of men whose eyebrows meet in the middle. Well, my eyebrows meet in the middle, and there's nothing to be scared of with me. I think that's quite racist. God damn it. It's fun. Yeah, it's a good film, Pete. If you want to put it in B, let's put it in B.
Well, listen, I can live with it in C. Do you want it in C? I can live with it in C. Is it as good as Children of the Corn? No, it probably isn't, mate.
Don't know, but it's better than Should, though.
It is better than Should. Aye, we're sticking in B, mate. Aye.
Yeah, let's stick it in B. Why not?
Yeah.
I think 94 is there's not many movies there. I think 94 needs a bit of help. So let's help along. Right, the next movie there is Death Warmed Up, which is a first time watch for me, Pete, this week. Did you get to watch it this week?
Yeah, same here, mate. I watched it this week as well.
This is one schlocky horror film. This one, Pete. Very
100%.
what they call it, Ozploitation film.
Ozploitation,
yeah, man. There was everything was so over the top in this film, man. The acting was like really over the top. And do you want to give us a synopsis of the movie?
Yeah. I mean, essentially, I'm trying to think about what it was actually about.
A mad doctor hypnotizes a guy and it kills his parents, and he gets locked up in an insane asylum. And then when he gets released, that doctor is he's got this clinic on an abandoned on an island far away, and he's doing these weird tests on people, turn them into essentially zombies that do his bidding.
Yeah,
and that's it. He goes to get his revenge on the doctor that made him kill his parents. Is that about right?
That's about right. You know, you probably missed out that the guy looks like a pint-sized Rutger Hauer. Like, you know,
he does, doesn't he? I was thinking that. I was thinking Blade Runner when I first saw it. I thought, is that Rutger Hauer for Blade Runner?
Totally. Yeah, I've got to say that, you know, I should have enjoyed this film, you know, because it's schlocky and it's supposed to be fun and stuff like that. But I found myself not liking quite a lot in this movie, mate, to be fair. Although there was a couple of little nice touches. There was one scene where they're in a bar. The barman's going, "Christ, you're going to send them all here. This is bad." And then the next thing, he's had a total personality transplant 2 seconds later, and he's like, "Don't worry, guys, I'll go out and reason with them." And then he goes out and he's going, "Come on, guys. You've been around here loads." And the camera kind of slowly pans in, and out of nowhere, the corner of the camera, this fucking hand just comes in and goes, "Bush," right there. And I like that. I really like that. That was a wee bit Sam Raimi, I thought. But the rest, mate, I thought was just a bit too low rent, if that makes any sense. You know, even the squibs and all that, they look like just carrier bags with a bit of paint on and stuff. You know, so. No, I didn't like this film, mate. I didn't like it. I saw what it was and what it was trying to be, and I'm sure that, you know, if you know a few folk around and a few beers or whatever, it might make a good movie. But when you sat down on your Jack Jones looking for a bit of entertainment, this wasn't the movie for me, mate. So
it just doesn't cut the mustard. No, it's just not good enough. And Pete, what the hell was up with that Indian shopkeeper? Did you see that bit with the Indian shopkeeper? It's just some like white dude in brown face.
Yeah.
It's horrific. You've ever heard in your life.
Yeah,
what's that bit? And I was like, it's horrific. I don't like that at all, man.
It's like what you know, comedians used to do in the fucking 60s and 70s. They used to black up and do the most stereotypical voices. I watched that and I thought, I wonder if Fassie's going to cut that and show that in his show, because
I should have, shouldn't I? I should have. That was bad, man.
It was bad. It was bad.
I didn't
I'm going to give this. I'm going to give this minus. No, I'm not going to give it minus 1 point. Is it that bad, or I'm going to give it nil point? It's either no points or minus 1 point, mate. You can have the final.
In the D. I mean, I got through it, and I wasn't hating it.
Yeah.
So, but I'll stick it in the D. It just wasn't good enough.
No,
wasn't very good at all.
Agreed.
Yeah. So that goes in. Death Warmed Up goes in D.
Yes.
Actually, is any comments there? I don't know. Dave says John Carpenter is my favorite, maybe my favorite horror director. Plus, also I've got to interact with him on the post and comments on Facebook. Remember you saying the real John Carpenter page? I said before, it's really nice to do so. Yeah. Dave says Red Letter Media just did a segment episode on that director and that director, The Sword and Sorcerer. Okay, I got to see some of that in the theaters for free while waiting for another movie.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah. I've never watched any of their stuff, Red Letter Media, but they seem quite popular. Every time somebody subscribes to my channel, I normally go and check what other people they're subscribed to, and they nearly always subscribe to Red Letter Media.
All right, might be worth checking out then, man.
Yeah, I've never actually done it myself, but maybe I will at some point. Right, let's have a look. The next movie is Monster Shark, which has another title that I don't remember. Why don't you pull it up on IMDb and let's see if we can find out what the other title is of Monster Shark.
No problem.
I did not see this movie, Pete. Did you?
I have not seen this movie. I did try and search for this one, mate, but I could not
Mhm.
find a working stream ever. Shark.
I do like a shark film, mate, but no, I haven't seen this one.
Me too. Devilfish.
Devilfish.
Yes.
So no, that'll go into the not seen. Which hey, we're only on 2 not seen so far, Pete. We're doing really, really well.
It's good so far.
Yeah, this might be the 3rd one though. Don't Open Till Christmas. I couldn't find this movie, Pete.
I couldn't find this one either, mate.
No. So we'll have to stick that in. I don't know what film that is. Let's stick it in. Not seen. And the next one is Dreamscape. Have you seen Dreamscape? Of course, you've seen Dreamscape.
I've seen Dreamscape, mate. Yeah. To be fair though, I only saw Dreamscape maybe a year ago for the first time.
For the first time.
For the first time, mate. Honestly, it was
watch it all the time. It was on TV in the bloody 90s and stuff. You didn't watch it at all.
Honestly, for the first time, it always just kind of escaped us. But I had a really good time with.
It's a fun film, isn't it? Yeah, it's a fun film.
It is. Dennis Quaid's hugely likable as this kind of gangster that's
the body's cool, man. The body's cool in it.
Yeah.
It's a bit of Nightmare on Elm Street in there, kind of feeling in there as well, isn't it? Especially when he does that thing with his fingers. He goes, "My turn," and his fingers like grow little claws on them. Yeah,
it goes. It has a really, really trippy ending, with the monster and whatnot. But it's all the kind of stuff in the lead up, and you've got that the other kind of dreamscape guy who is played by that dude who Arnold Schwarzenegger chucks off a cliff in Commando.
Right, That's what I meant. The baddie, that like him is the baddie. I thought he was.
So
Small dude, but he's like, he's very intimidating.
Definitely. I liked it, mate. It's fun, and it's got it's in tune with its horror vibes and that. So for me, I would give this. I'd happily put this in B, mate. Happily put that in B.
100%, man. Me too. I don't know. It's weird. Like 2/3 of the way through, there's like a really full-on sex scene in there, and I don't know why that was in there. It was. It felt out of place. It was like so explicit.
Yeah,
I don't know why they put that in there.
To be fair, there's a couple of movies. A couple of movies I've watched this week. 1984. There's a lot of that kind of thing. But wasn't it a dream sequence though? Was it?
Yeah, it was. But like he was in a separate room, wasn't he? And he was going into a dreams, and then he does that to him in the dream. But it was a bit over the top. I didn't need that bit in that movie.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, looking at the poster as well, it's got that adventure element to it as well, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoy that movie. It's a good movie. I like that snake thing that comes up. No, the snake head thing.
Yeah, like a cobra.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and similarly to Threads, they've got that scene with the nuclear explosion as well, don't they?
They do. Beginning, running away from it. Yeah.
That's a good bit. I like that bit.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Oh, if I put it in D, I don't mean to do that. I need to put it in B. So we'll set Dreamscape in B because it's a good movie, man. It's a good movie. Very good movie. And next we've got Fatal Games, Pete, which is a first time watch for me. Did you watch it?
I have not watched Fatal Games, so Bassi, over to you. Tell me about it.
I've wrote some notes on this, man. Oh my god. So Fatal Games is a slasher movie, and the killer kills people with javelins. That's his modus operandi. That's his weapon of choice. Is a javelin. It's like it's just a cheap and nasty slasher, like knockoff film. Very cynical. So I don't think many people. I'm going to spoil it a little bit. So the killer, right? It's crazy. So the killer is a person. So it takes place on this like a sports campus thing, and all these people are training to be in like the Olympics sort of thing. And the school nurse, it turns out, she's the killer. I say she because she used to be a he, and he wanted to be a javelin in the like an Olympic athlete with a javelin, and he wasn't good enough, but he really, really wanted like to be a winner. So he became a woman to be in the women's javelin team, but he got disqualified, and for some reason that was the reason why she decided to kill everybody. I don't quite know what the connection there was, but that's what tipped her over the edge. She became a woman, and but she got disqualified, and guess maybe she hated all the other athletes that were doing well. She was like jealous of them, and then she started killing them with javelins. And that's it, mate. Pete. It was rubbish. It was shit. It was
and on the poster there, her armpit's on fire. What's going on there, man?
I don't know, mate.
Oh my god! I mean, it was awful.
It was one terrible movie, Pete. It was absolute rubbish. I'm not surprised it's like a forgotten movie because it was shite. Okay.
Bullshit. I didn't like this movie at all.
Right, that's it. That's all I'm going to say about it.
So is this our first -1 point then?
Yeah, it is. There's absolutely no reason to watch this film. It's absolute rubbish.
Okay.
And it's just they only have half of it in there just so they can show people taking showers and being naked, and I don't know, man. I suppose if you're like 12 years old, you might get something, or 13 years old, or whatever. There'll be a reason to watch it, but otherwise, no. If you're just a horror fan, want to watch horror films, it, again, does not cut the mustard at all. Right, let's move on from that one because that was shite.
Yeah.
And the next one, Pete, is another Stephen King adaptation, and it is Firestarter. What do we think of Firestarter, Pete?
I like Firestarter. I like Firestarter. I wouldn't say I'm a fan of it, mate. A huge fan. It's an adequate Stephen King movie, I think. I like the build up. I like the story about the psychedelic drug tests and all that. The kind of lead up to it's interesting premise.
Quite well made. It's quite well made.
Yeah, absolutely.
George C. Scott's really good in it.
Yeah, he is. But for me, it's all about the big, huge fire bombs at the end of the movie, and that that's the real standout stuff. And that's what kind of elevates the movie a bit. It feels. Firestarter feels up until the firebomb bits very much like the Fury, that kind of thing. It's got that similar kind of vibe where we've got to chase down the dangerous psychic person, that kind of thing. But yeah, the Drew Barrymore attack at the end with the big ass fire bombs and real stunts is great. Like
she's good as well. Drew Barrymore's like she was really good back then. All the films.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I'm going to give this a B, mate. It's another B movie for me.
Wow.
Yeah, I like it.
Cool. Yeah. No, I'll go along with that. Yeah, it's a decent movie. It's not one of the best Stephen King adaptations, but it does it pretty well. Whatever it's trying to do, it does it pretty well. So yeah, let's stick it in B. It's a fun movie. And compared to the remake from this year, it is a brilliant movie.
Citizen Kane compared to the remake. Yeah, 100%.
Let's see if there's any comments. Right, let's have a look here. Dave says, I never saw the movie Threads, but there was a movie called The Day After that was about nuclear war that was in the 80s on TV. It was pretty good and spooky. Yeah, I think John Lithgow's in that as well.
That's right. That's the American one.
I've never seen that one. We should check that out, Pete.
Yeah.
I think it came out around the same time as well, didn't it?
It did.
Dr. Impossible says, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Dr. Impossible says, Threads certainly had a caliber writer in Barry Hines. When the mood takes me, I'll watch Threads and the US film Testament. Both films deal with nuclear war and both have remarkable effects on emotions. Yeah, man, that bit at the end on Threads, it was an awesome way to end the movie where the daughter's grown up a bit and she's being raped or whatever. And she has a kid, and obviously the kid's like a mutant or something. And like the last thing you see in the movie is her seeing the kid, and she's like, and then it finishes.
It's just horrific. I mean, I think that the bit that got me, mate, was where the mother, who's had such a horrific time throughout the course of the movie, sells herself, prostitutes herself for a dead rat so she can eat.
Yeah.
And pretty much that's about as happy as this movie gets. Right there. That's as good as she gets it. Good as it gets for her. Terrific.
Yeah. Dave says, I need to rewatch Company of Wolves. I remember the effects were really good. I don't remember too much else about it. Yeah, I remember I watched a documentary. You probably watched the same one, Pete, where Joe Dante was talking about Company of Wolves, and somebody had asked Neil Jordan about the transformation effects and comparing it with the Howling. And Neil Jordan said, "Oh, I'm not making a piece of crap movie like The Howling. I'm making like a proper, a good piece of art sort of thing." And Joe Dante was telling that story. I'm like, Neil Jordan, you're a twat. I'm like,
Yeah,
what do you want to say something like that for?
exactly.
Mike for real Fifth Beatle. Hi, Mike. Sorry, lads, I'm in the pub. We'll have to watch tomorrow. No, not a problem, mate. Not a problem.
You enjoy the pub, mate.
Dr. Impossible says, when you think Threads was shot on a budget in 100,000 and directed by Mick Jackson, LA Story, and The Bodyguard, was it directed by Mick Jackson? I thought you didn't realise.
I didn't realise either.
Nice. Dave says, Temple of Doom, I got to see 8 times in the theatres back then, and I give it a 9.5 out of Boosty 10. Here, I'll give it an A. A great action, great horror type stuff. It's a carbon copy of Gunga Din. Is that right? 8 times. My goodness.
Wow.
Dave says, I really need to rewatch Mutant. It had an alternate title. Can't remember top of the head, but I remember it was kind of good. Yeah, but you'll have to get your the IMDb ready there for some synopsises of the movies.
Yep.
Dave says, I've got to see Ghostbusters 4 times in the theatres. And yes, I actually paid for all 4 times, surprisingly. I give it a 9 out of 10. And yeah. Rick is here. Hi, Rick, mate. All the F reviews. Now then, the missus put I'm a Celeb on. Can't talk today, man. So I came upstairs and I'm confronted by 2 more Geordies. We're not Geordies, man. We're not Geordies. But nice to see you, man, Ricky. Yeah, you're jumping on there. Right. The next movie is Friday the 13th, the final chapter. A proper horror film from 1984.
It is a proper horror film.
There's no beat.
Yeah, well, listen, I like Friday the 13th, the final chapter. It's a wee bit slow and draggy. In the midsection, I would say it's a little bit. It could have had a couple of minutes trimmed off. But generally, I liked all the characters. There's some good kills in there, and I like Corey Feldman in there, and I like the ending in there, mate. There's not much I don't. For me, it's probably Jason Lives, and then the final chapter is my favorite Friday the 13th movie. So, I've seen this one, many times. I don't get bored when it's on or anything like that. And for me, if they'd have it was fitting that if they'd have just jumped straight to Jason Lives after the final chapter and missed out part 5 altogether, I would have been quite happier. But this movie on its merits, mate, the cast are good. I like it, mate. I'm going to give this. Is it a B or is it an A for me? Is it a B or is it an A? It's a B or an A, mate. I'm undecided. I'll let you decide. What are you thinking? Because you don't like this movie as much as I do. I know that.
No, I don't, mate. Look, I think it's like a quintessential Friday the 13th movie. It's like it's got all the bits that you associate with with Friday the 13th and Jason. I mean, the kills are outstanding in the movie. They're like the highlight of the film. I just don't like the stalking bit of this movie. I don't like the way he pops up all over the place. It just takes me out of the film. Like, just teleports to be exactly where he needs to be, and that bit just puts me off. And you're right, it is slow in places, even though most of the characters are quite likable. It's just not that interesting in between the bits with Jason. The Jason bits are the interesting bits. And I like Corey Feldman. I never quite understood how Corey Feldman knew what Jason looked like when he was a kid. You know how he cuts all himself to make him look like Jason.
True.
And they're pretty much doing the same trick they did in part 2, where she pretends to be the mother, and in this one he pretends to be Jason.
Yeah. And
I don't know why Jason would be looking at him going, "Oh, that little kid looks like me." I don't know how he looks like me, but it makes me not want to kill him, or it's put me off doing the killing. Anyway, I don't want to. There's loads of bits of that I just don't get. But the kills are really good, and you're right. I really like the way he dies. Sorry, dude. I'm hearing some buzzing noises coming out. It's doing my head in. I think my internet might just pop out or something. I can hear some crackling, electrical crackling going on the side of me. Right. Anyway, sorry, dude. If you don't mind, Pete, let's stick it in B.
Okay, let's do B.
I don't think it's good enough to be in it here.
Okay.
I know it's some people's favorite Friday the 13th, but it ain't mine, mate. And I know it ain't yours either.
No.
I even prefer 7 to this, even though the kills are much better in this one.
Yeah.
But story-wise, I prefer 7. Right. Is that all right with you then, Pete?
That is absolutely hunky-dory.
All right, mate. Right, so the next one is Ghostbusters. I don't think we need to talk much about Ghostbusters, mate, Pete.
No. The Ghostbusters
classic movie.
Absolutely classic. It's strange when you rewatch Ghostbusters, you realize just how not a children's movie this is. You know, with some of the content that's in the movie, and there's some parts, especially the first time you saw it there with the ghost in the library, that are genuinely scary as well. That freak you out.
Yeah.
I think this is, it's a classic, mate. We'll watch it for generations and generations. We'll watch it for years and years. It's S tier. Easy.
Yeah, I don't think there was any question. Before we stick that in there, I'll quickly put some comments on there quickly. What have I done there? Right. Ricky says, keep telling yourself you're not a Geordie Vass, bro. You might start believing it yourself.
Huh?
I know what I am, mate, and I ain't no Geordie. I appreciate the input. Oh, actually, I've got a thing for that. Hold on.
Thanks for the advice.
Dave says, I actually paid surprisingly again to see Gremlins twice in the theaters the first time. I think it was the first week it opened. I give it a 9 out of 10. Wow.
Fuck that.
Dave says, as of recently, somebody pointed out that if you do get the Gremlins, what they produce, but yet in the movie they go through the snow like no problem. I never thought of that before back in '84. Yeah,
true.
I suppose that's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, they take a piss out themselves in Gremlins 2 anyway, don't they?
Yeah.
About all the rules and everything, how they don't really hold up very well. Dave says, I got to see Friday the 13th Part 2, Part 3, Part 5, Part 6, and Freddy vs. Jason in the theaters. Part 3 and 6 I got to see for free. The other ones I paid for. Yeah, my favorite 6, then 2, then 7, and then I'm not sure after that. Maybe Freddy vs. Jason. I'm a soft spot for that. I saw that in the pictures. I'm sure you did as well, didn't you, Pete?
What? Freddy vs. Jason?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Right, so let's stick that one in S tier because there's really nowhere else it can go.
Yep.
And I'm guessing Gremlins is going to go in S tier as well, Pete.
Yeah, it's got to be fired straight in there, mate. The 2 movies are the same ilk. Absolutely, we were spoiled in 1984.
Totally. Let's just get it in there, man.
Yep.
Love me a bit of Gremlins.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, 1984 is shaping up quite well at the moment, mate, with these points.
Isn't it? Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I think 1984 should be thanking me for sticking Ghostbusters and Gremlins in there, and Indiana Jones as well. And the next movie is Impulse, mate. Did you get a chance to watch Impulse?
Mate, I watched Impulse this week for the first time. I remember that scary ass video cover.
Yeah, me too, man.
In the video shop. I never realised it was Bill Paxton until I watched the movie, but of course it's Bill Paxton. Look, there's Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised, mate.
It's a good film, isn't it, Pete? It's the one I was talking about just a few weeks ago, about the milk and the people going crazy and acting on impulse. And
do you know it had it very much of what is that film that I'm thinking of, mate, with Timothy Olyphant or whatever he's called?
The Crazies.
The Crazies. It had a Crazies vibe to it. I really liked it, mate. I thought
very Twilight Zone, isn't it? Very Twilight Zone.
Definitely. And I thought some of the scenes were genuinely disturbing. That bit where they're in the bar, mate, and the friend starts freaking out, and she's looking around the room, and all these people are kind of licking each other and stuff like that. was proper Jacob's ladder, that man.
Yeah.
Aye,
I was thinking the same thing, yeah. And I like the bit where the guy goes, "You've never experienced real pain," and then he starts
Aye.
breaking his fingers.
Yeah,
That's
totally,
awesome,
totally.
man. Really
And
good.
you know that there was that one scene that was a bit wrong where the young girls just sat there waiting and he starts looking at the young girl. That was a
Yeah.
big bag of wrong, that scene, like right enough.
Yeah.
But it,
When
it,
you give us a synopsis, because I'm sure a lot of people haven't seen this movie, Pete.
Okay. So it's essentially about a young couple. The lady is a ballerina and the gentleman is a doctor, and they're having a lovely, wonderful life. And then
In
all
the
of
big
it,
city.
yeah, in the big city, and then all of a sudden, the lady receives a phone call from her mother, who's very hauntingly calling her a whore and all this, blah 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 blah. Who shoots herself on the phone. And then the couple decides to drive through to this old hick town where she grew up to investigate what the fuck's going on. Why did mum shoot herself and all that? And then they discover that shortly before the shooting, there was a small earthquake. You know, they don't put two and two together, as you wouldn't put two and two together.
Mhm.
And after spending a bit of time in this town, they start to notice that everybody is starting to feed off their impulses. So if somebody can't get parked, for instance, and they get a little bit of road rage, they use the vehicle as a weapon and smash the shit out of the car, that kind of thing. Every impulse that comes, you know, into their head, they act on it without any inhibitors saying, that's a bad idea, don't do that.
Mhm.
And it turns into very quickly carnage. You know, you've got coppers shooting kids. You've got absolute, you know, riots breaking out in the town. I think at the end of the movie, it puts a bit of spiel on the screen as if it was a true story, and that which I kind of liked, and it references the 900 deaths in this town, and I was like, wow, this is like end of the world shit. Like, so I'm good at that.
It turns out it was a toxic waste spill, wasn't it? And the toxic waste got into the milk supply.
Got into
and
the
then,
milk.
And her family, this couple, the lassie's family, run a milk farm, don't they?
Yeah. Dairy,
so that's where the milk was getting contaminated by this toxic waste, and it was driving people just insane.
Yeah. There's a lot of really dark stuff that's touched upon in this film, and it's given because Meg Tilly's in it, and she's Meg Tilly, you know, her very most beautifulest. You know, she's gorgeous in this movie. Like, but you know, the cast are really good. It's one of the, honestly, mate, when I put this film on, I knew that poster and I did not know what to expect. So I left my brain at home and just engaged with it. And I had a blast with this film. Like, it was a real pleasure. It's an A-class movie for me.
Oh, wicked, man, Pete. I'm glad you're saying that. Yeah, it's just a really awesome tale of mystery and suspense. It unfolds really, really well. And it just kind of escalates more and more and more. Yeah. And it's just a really good time, that movie. I'm surprised it's not more well known than it is. Totally. It deserves to be seen. Like, it's got some really good scenes in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I totally agree with that cover there. Like, I absolutely remember seeing that exact cover in the video shop. And a bit like last week's Mountaintop Motel Massacre. It's just a really striking sort of image, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. You know, it's one that reeks video nasties, and it's not quite a video nasty. Don't get me wrong.
No, it's a well-made movie.
It is a well-made movie. It's a recommendation. If anybody hasn't seen it, who's watching this, they should go and check it out. Vasi, you got this on YouTube, did you not?
I did. Yeah, it's available on YouTube.
Yeah. So check it out.
I couldn't find it anywhere else. But it's a crack of that, man. It's a really, really good movie.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I'll totally agree with that. Let's stick that in here because it's excellent, absolutely excellent film. And Bill Paxton, man, he gets around, doesn't he? He was in last week and the week before.
He does. He was just kind of. Exactly. And he'll be in another movie very shortly. It's the Year of Bill for sure.
Absolutely. Right. Impulse is a very good film, guys. You should check it out. The next movie is Indiana Jones: Temple of Doom.
Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom. Yeah, I mean, listen, for me, mate, it's Temple of Doom. It's I'm trying to think of all of the movies. It's my second favorite Indiana Jones movie. You know, first being obviously Raiders,
Yeah.
for sure. Temple of Doom, I always have a blast with. You know, the roller coaster esque scene where they're on the wee mining shafts is a little bit, you know, dated, the special effects, but they were, to be honest, they weren't the best even at the time. I remember.
Yeah.
But you disengage your brain and you go with it. Like, you know, Harrison Ford, such a fantastic, compelling Indiana Jones.
It's a fantastic adventure film, isn't it, Pete? Like, I think it's the darkest. It's the darkest of all of them that have been out. I think this one is definitely the darkest.
100%, mate. There's hearts getting ripped out all over the place. There's bloody monkey brains all over the place.
And the body's scary, man. He's proper scary, isn't he?
He is.
I wouldn't want to mess with him.
He is. All that more. Was it morum cigarum? Morum cigarum. It's you'll not get that out of your head once you've seen it, but it's bloody awesome. Is Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom, and my favorite scene from it is when he's in the Mexican standoff on the rope bridge. He's like that with his blade, and you know, when I was a child, when I first watched it, I did not expect him to fucking cut the bridge, and even when I watch it now, I still don't expect him to cut the bridge. But when he does, the fucking, you know, the anxiety, everything just amps up to level 20. It's just a fucking great film. Is it S tier? Is it S tier, Vass?
I don't know. I've got to say, if I rank the Indiana Jones movies, the first one first. Raiders is always first, and then I kind of prefer Last Crusade to this one. I think I've seen those two the most, and I've seen this one this one. I mean, it's a brilliant movie. It's like all the Indiana Jones movies are super exciting all the way through. They don't stop. Even the fourth one. I mean, it's not great, but the action doesn't stop. It just goes on and on and on and on. It's like non-stop action all the way through, and adventure and excitement. And this one's like, it's very classic, isn't it? Every scene is like it's Steven Spielberg, like doing what he does best, like what you want him to do, instead of those movies that he's making these days. I don't know. Is it S tier though? Is it like an all-time classic? Maybe it is. What would you say? So you stick it out as in S tier?
I think the imagery from this film, the set pieces from this film are S tier. I think it has its problems. Kate Capshaw being a big problem in this movie, because she is grating in this movie. You know, she's. You know
what I don't like? I don't like all the bugs in the movie. There's too many bugs in the movie.
A lot of bugs in this movie.
I don't actually like the bugs very much because I'm a bit phobic when it comes to bugs.
Fair.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'll leave you with the final call. I can live with S tier or A for me.
I'm going to stick it in A. Too many bugs, man, Pete. Too many bugs.
Fair.
Is that all right with you?
That is all right with me.
You live with that? Awesome,
yeah,
Pete.
I can live with that.
Yeah. And the next one, mate, is Invitation to Hell. Have you seen it?
No, I've not seen this one, buddy. Have you?
Well, luckily, this is the one I watched by mistake a few weeks ago, because 1982 had an Invitation to Hell, and I watched this one by mistake. So I actually watched this a few weeks ago. So that kind of worked out well, didn't it?
It certainly did.
So this is a TV movie directed by Wes Craven, cinematography by Dean Cundy. It's got the little kid from Neverending Story in it. You know, he's in Daryl as well. He's in it. It's got Norman Tuttle in it from Street Hawk. Don't know if you remember him. He's in Sword the Sorcerer as well.
All right.
So it's about this guy who gets a job in a tech company, and everyone in that tech company, there's like a club there, and they all kind of worship the devil, and they try and get him to join and become. And if you get invited into the club, you kind of get make a deal with the devil that you get all this power and influence and success, but you have to sell your soul to the devil. And so he doesn't want to do it. He knows something's up, but his wifey, unfortunately, she goes and joins the club without him. So literally, like from one day she's just the wife, and then the next day he comes home and she's like in the kitchen making making like dinner, and she's like got all this big 80s hair, and she's just dressed in a lingerie because she's like worshipping the devil and that. So
Like Stepford Wives.
I don't know. It was quite like I was just thinking if that happened. Doesn't seem that bad, does it? Really, worshipping the devil. You actually all of a sudden got this big sexy hair and wearing lingerie while she's making dinner, and so it she turned into like a total sex pot. But it's super 80s. The movie's super 80s. I don't know. It's for a TV movie. It was decent. I quite enjoyed it. It goes over the top like most Wes Craven stuff does, like near the end. It's kind of like it's like they run out of story, so he just kind of pushes it a bit too far, like he does with Nightmare on Elm Street and some of his other movies. But yeah, it's fine. It's fun. I quite enjoyed it. Didn't make much sense, but yeah, let's stick it and see. It's worth a watch.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good, actually.
Yeah. If you see it on TV or see it anywhere, I would just go ahead and give it a watch. It's definitely worth your time. So yeah, we'll stick that in. Invitation to Hell. Wes Craven, same year as Nightmare on Elm Street. So he was busy that year, I guess, 1984. Mr. Wes Craven.
2 movies in a year, fair play to him.
Yeah. And I think he was making bloody Hills of Ice Part 2 at the same time as well. But it didn't come out till the year after, but I think he was making that at the same time. Proper busy.
Yeah.
And that dude's in it actually for like 2 seconds. You know, that baldy guy from Hills of Eyes.
Oh, he's in it, is he?
Yeah, he's in it, but like he doesn't say anything. He's just kind of just there. Like, like he's there, and he's like walking up some stairs, and then he's gone. Must have just been like in for a day or something.
Yeah.
Right. And the next, actually, is there any more comments? Let's have a look here. Okay, so Dave says, I just didn't like the guy who played Jason in Freddy vs. Jason. The director, Ronnie Yu, totally messed that up. I mean, the guy was okay, but he's like 7 foot tall, which is distracting. I know, I like it when Jason's like this big, unstoppable killing machine. I kind of think it's quite fitting, to be honest. And they're all quite big people who play Jason, really. And pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
Dave says, I give the movie Rats a 7 out of a boosty 10. Here, I'll give it a C. Oh, yeah, we're going to come on to the Rats. Oh, Rats. Right, Dave says, plus also Dimension and Jason versus Freddy. We all wanted to see Robert Englund versus Kane Hodder, I believe. Not some stunt guy from Jason Part 8 who gets thrown over the counter in New York. Is that the guy who plays Jason? I did not know that. Dimension, not Dimension. Oh, right, okay. We got you, Dave.
Yep.
Robert Englund versus Kane Hodder would have been great. I can't believe the director of Jason versus Freddy didn't see it that way before he directed it. He admitted he barely saw any of the franchises. I think he did Bride of Chucky as well, didn't he, Ronnie Yu?
He did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't suppose you watch any of the Chucky movies either. Echoes here. Hello, mate. Dave says there's a great video on YouTube somewhere I saw where they literally put side to side Indiana Jones 2 in Gunga Din, and I think Lucas did it on purpose and to use the same Thuggy Cult 2 in it. Oh, okay.
I'm going to check that out, man.
Gunga Din. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Dave knows his stuff. Right, the next movie, Pete, is Monster Dog. Have you seen Monster Dog?
I have not seen it, mate. Would you like me to give you a synopsis?
Yeah, give us a synopsis. I've seen the film, mate, but give us a synopsis.
Okay, rock star Vince Raven, played by Alice Cooper, returns home after 20 years to make a new music video. Whilst filming, Raven is informed by the town sheriff that a mysterious wild dog has been killing people in the area. The sheriff also suggests that perhaps Raven knows something about it. It seems that he may.
Well, I saw this movie a couple of years back, and after I watched it, I thought
that was bullshit.
this movie is trash, man. It's so low budget. It's absolute. It's just a wreck. I don't. It's badly dubbed. Even Alice Cooper's voice is dubbed in the movie. It must be Italian or something. But it's just a dreadful film. It's so bad, man. Where's that guy?
Oh my god, I mean, it was awful.
It's
Yeah.
really, really bad. It's as a horror film, it's a disgrace, mate. It's
No,
just
fair
not.
play.
Yeah, it's just total waste of time. Let's get that sucker in F. 'Cause it's not worth anything. Right. I remember watching it because I remember the cover from the video shop, and
Yeah,
thinking,
me too.
look, a killer monster dog looks like a werewolf, might be good. And god damn, I was wrong. I was
Oh,
so
never
wrong.
mind. Never mind.
And the next movie, Pete, is Mutant. Have you seen Mutant?
I have not seen Mutant, mate. Have you seen
I
Mutant?
have. I've seen Mutant. I saw a couple of. I think it was last year. It's on Roku. Well, it was on Roku channel. There's not much happening in that movie at all, Pete. It looks all right. It's quite a decent looking movie, but it's boring.
So what's the mutant verse? Is it an alien or what?
When
What's
you give
going
it a
on?
synopsis, I don't have much memory of it, mate. But I just remember at the end of it, I was thinking,
Let's have a look. Okay. Mutant movie. Right, let's have a look here.
Tell us what the alternate title is as well. Might say.
Let me see. Night Shadows. Night Shadows was the original name. Right. When two brothers visit a small town, a chemical factory creates mutant creatures that descend on the residents. That's it. That's all the information I've been given.
Basically, it's not very good, Pete. Stick it in D.
D. Okay. Whoa, let's see.
Oh shit! Let's see. It's not like it's big enough. I should be able to see where it's going, and obviously I'm not putting it in the right place. Right, the next one, Pete, is the Mutilator. Have you seen the Mutilator?
I've seen the Mutilator, mate. I saw it on Shudder about a year ago.
Shudder as well.
Yeah, I remember it being okay. Quite violent, especially towards the end. There was nothing stand out about the movie at all, or anything like that, apart from the violence was quite violent at the end. I don't really remember much about this film, mate, but I thought it was passable. Kind of like C tier. I don't think it was terrible. I don't think it was bad or anything.
Yeah, if I remember rightly, it starts off where the kid is playing around with a gun, his dad's gun, and he shoots it through a door, and his mum just happens to be in the kitchen, and the bullet goes through the door into her and kills her. And then the dad comes home. What's happened there, mate? It's gone all dark.
Your light's blown. That might have been the sizzling Vass.
It might have been. Am I still live?
You're still live. You're just one of the lights going off. That's all.
Yeah, don't know what's happened there, mate. I'm gonna have to continue in the dark. That's weird. I'm definitely still alive, yeah?
You're definitely still alive, right?
Something weird's happening there, dude. So I think in the Mutilator, it's the dad. I think when he grows up, he goes to the place where his dad used to live, and his dad doesn't realize his dad's been living down there underneath something and they start killing it's just him, his girlfriend, and another couple. And he just goes through killing them all. There's one bit where he's got this big hook, and he hooks that lassie, and it comes out of her side there. That's pretty mean. Yeah, I remember the kills were decent.
Yes,
and not much else. It was pretty slow going. Other than that, so let's stick that in CP. It's fine. It's fine. It's just a pretty run-of-the-mill, forgettable slasher movie with half decent kills.
Oh yeah, I would agree wholeheartedly.
All right, let's have a go here. And the next one, Pete, is Night of the Comet. Night of the Comet, yeah. We're familiar with this movie, aren't we, Pete?
We are. Yeah, I like Night of the Comet, mate. It's fun, it's breezy, it's got some good kind of zombie type action in it. The scenes where they're driving around the city and the city are completely empty are really, really good and really, really, how can I put it, unexpected for a movie of its budget. because it looks really convincing.
Mhm.
There's a lot of Tony Scott bloody filters going on in there. Right?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Everything's fucking brown, like, for some reason. But I really like this movie. It's charming. I like the two leads. You completely buy into them.
Yeah.
And you get
Turns into a bit of a zombie movie there, like halfway through, doesn't it?
It does, mate. It does. It's a fun little watch night of the comic. It's the kind of movie which you can just put on if you've got you and a few friends around and just have a laugh with it. It's good. I'm going to give this a B, mate. I like that.
It's a good like cult movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very, very like popular film. I'm a fan of this movie. Let's stick that in. Was it B? Was it?
B for me, yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one. And next we've got Rats: Night of Terror. Have you seen it, mate?
No. Rats: Night of Terror. Have you seen this one?
Unfortunately, I did watch it, mate, Pete. It's one of those. Oh, you know what I'm going to put on here, don't you, Pete?
Is it from Mausoleum?
It is.
Oh my god, I mean, it was awful.
This is one crap, terrible, shitty movie. It's one of those Italian movies that's all dubbed super badly, and the rats are like not scary at all. It's like it's the kind of ones where they kind of just throwing the rats at people, and they're all going ah, and it's weird. People are getting killed by rats, and they could literally just stand up and walk away, but they just decide to just stay there and get killed by the rats. It's a crazily bad movie. So it's like it's post-apocalyptic Earth, and there's been like a nuclear war, and people have had to go underground because it's all contaminated above ground. So all the rats have gone above ground, and then people start going above ground, but it's covered in rats everywhere. So there's like two types of people: the people who live underground and people who live above ground. So this big gang of people above ground, they go into this building, and there's rats everywhere, and they all get picked off by these rats, and I don't know, it's just laughably bad. It's embarrassing. It's cringy all the way through. It's naff. It's just badly made. It's not scary. It's just inept. It's turkey.
Turkey. Do you know? The thing is, I don't think I've seen many rats movies. I don't think I've seen any. I always fancied watching that Food of the Gods 2. Do you remember that video cover when we were out? But I never got to see it, man. So yeah, I do want to watch a rats movie at some point.
Don't watch this one, Pete. Don't watch this one.
No, not this one.
It's so bad. It's bad. It's not so bad. It's good. It's just so bad. It's just bad. It's a dreadful film.
Fair play.
Dreadful film.
Fair play.
Yeah.
So this is going to be -1. Is that right?
It is, mate. It totally is.
Do it.
You read my mind.
Do it.
Don't know, man. I don't know how they managed to make such a bad movie in such a good year. Don't know. It's crazy.
Exactly, man.
Right, and the next movie, Pete, is Razorback from 1984, directed by one of my fave guys, Russell Mulcahy. Are you a fan of the film, Pete?
Mate, I've got to confess, the last time I saw Razorback was probably about 10 years ago, and I remember it being very good. To be fair, I remember it being quite scary. The big ass pig thing has a presence, if you like. It's got like kind of elements of Jaws, where it's a little bit unseen, which is probably a good thing, because I remember it being big and like huge at the end of it.
Massive. It really is big.
Yeah. So I remember I like this film, mate. I do want to watch it
super
again.
Stylish. It looks great, man. It's super stylish. It's there's not enough of the ball action in the movie, I've got to say. There's a lot of story, especially in the first half, where it's like I don't know, he's just waiting for the ball to come, all the bits with the ball. But it's lovely to look at, though. In the meantime, it's a really good film. It's a really good film.
Okay. Well, listen, if I'm going off my 10-year memory, mate, I would probably put this as a C. But sounds like you might want to put this in B. Is that right?
Yeah. I think we should. I think it deserves to go on B.
Do it.
I think it's a very, very, very good film.
Do it.
Right, and the next one, Pete, is Satan's Blade. Did you watch Satan's Blade?
I haven't seen Satan's Blade, mate.
Oh yeah, I told you not to watch it, didn't I? I told.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
I'll give you a link to watch it. Then I said, "Don't watch it, Pete. Don't watch it."
So, you watched it, Bassy. How was it?
Bullshit. I didn't like this movie at all.
This movie was shit, man. It was really, really bad. Did I even write any notes on it? It was that bad. All I wrote was amateur filmmaking, like a whole movie. I have standards.
Ooh, shit. So this movie was insulting, was it? It was insultingly bad.
Yeah, it was like I couldn't think of anything good about it at all, man. It was just a dreadful movie. I don't know. I wish I didn't even know it existed because it didn't deserve to exist. It's so bad. It's shit. Let's stick it in F.
Damn it. Bye-bye. Satan's Blade.
So yeah, so if I remember rightly, it was because I really kind of lost interest very, very quickly. These people go to a resort, and as soon as they get there, someone gets. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I remember now. So these two lassies, they rob a bank and they hide away in this like hotel in this resort thing, and then some guy comes and kills them both. And then the next day, a bunch of people come check in. And then the woman behind the counter says, "Oh, someone just got murdered here. There's a room free. You can stay in that room." And they go, "Oh, okay then." And they tell them the story that there's people living up in the hills around this resort, and there's like an old wives' tale about this blade. And the guy that lives there, he didn't want people to be up there, so he made a deal with some gods. And they gave him this blade, and he would kill people with his blade to keep them off his land.
Okay.
And someone's got a hold of that blade and is killing people with that blade. And and it was total crap. Yeah, I probably made it sound better than it was.
You did make it better, to be fair.
Let's have a look at the comments. I'm a bit behind. Let's have a look here. Okay, Dave says Terror in the Isles was only good to see Donald Pleasance in. Otherwise, I didn't like it too much. I mean, that's the whole point. It's all a bunch of clips of horror movies, which made it feel pointless. So no, man, I don't mind sitting through just a bunch of clips of horror films. I quite like it. Dave says I'll give Terror in the Isles a C, 5 out of Boosty 10. Harsh.
That's harsh.
Dave says I saw Monster Dog semi recently and I liked it.
Are you sure? 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 Are you sure?
Okay, anyway, where's the comments gone? Okay, I seen him in concert twice, and I suppose if you're a big fan of Alice Cooper, you'd probably be happy to see him in a movie, no matter how bad the movie was. Let's have a look. And Dave says, I'll give Monster Dog a 6 out of a Boosty 10. I'll give it a C. Good lord. C plus. He's even upgraded to a C plus. On second thoughts, I had to recreate my rating of Monster Dog. Okay. Mutant was about toxic waste, another one of those type ones. Nothing related, but Pete, are you on Instagram? It's great to see Vast there, of course. I hardly ever go on my Instagram, I literally go once a week. I got a new phone, and I've transferred all my stuff from my old phone to my new phone, but everything's logged out, so I can't even use my banking. Every time I try and log in, it's asking me to put in all my bloody, when you start on a bank thing and they want you like, oh, you had a letter,
two-step verification and all that,
and this, that, and the other. I ain't got none of that shit, so I can't even get my Instagram. I literally have to keep 2 phones with me all the time, which I don't really do. So like, I only check my Instagram like once a week. But I'm not a big fan of Instagram anyway.
I am on Instagram, Dave. I am. You should hook me up, look me up, or I'll look you up, and we'll be Instagram buddies.
There you go, Dave. I'll give Silent Night, Deadly Night a 5 out of Boosty 10. A C here. I remember so much hype over this movie when it came out. Yeah, I think there was a lot of controversy, wasn't there? The media played it up so much, and it was basically a tame movie. Dave says, "Night the comment I liked sort of. It was disappointing. They should have had way more zombies or something going on. 6 out of the Boosty 10. A C." Yeah, Night the comment, got it. Paris the Film Girl. Oh, thanks for popping in again. Nightmare on Elm Street is a great one. It is an absolute classic, all-time classic.
Right.
It's one of the movies you're glad you grew up in that time where it was like one of like the main horror films of growing up. I can imagine now, like I'm sure I've watched it with my kids and they weren't impressed. This one out there. I just watched Night the Comet for the first time. How did you find it?
Yeah, let us know.
Paris the Film Girl. I sit down to Silent Night, Deadly Night when it's Christmas time. It's definitely a Christmas movie. No doubt about that. Mr. San says, anybody interested in getting that Evil Dead game? Oh yeah, I just got that Evil Dead game. They were giving it out free on Steam. Not Steam. It was on one of the ones. I can't remember what it was now. My son's got loads of like they give out free movies every month.
I saw they were giving it away free, man. Listen, jump in if they're giving it away for free. I paid £35 when it first came out, so that was kicking the balls to me. It's only been out 6 months, 7 months or something like that. But it's a good game. Like the free roaming around, just knacking people. That's the best way to play it for full sure.
Yeah, I got that Alien one as well free. Isolation, they give that away free as well. I haven't had a chance to have a look at it though.
I love Alien Isolation. Like, it is a genuinely scary Alien game, like which has never been done before. I've got the new Aliens game on the PS4, PS5, and it literally is just shooty. There's nothing to it. But the Alien Isolation game is, it's just you've got to hide. And that's how you survive this game. If it comes looking for you, if you make a noise, it will find you. Like so, and it's got all that original score from Ridley Scott's original Alien movie.
Oh wow!
So feels very authentic. Isolation's a great game, mate. It's never been bettered.
I remember that. Oh, the old one on the PlayStation, was it Evil Dead? Not Evil. Alien Trilogy. That was a game, wasn't it? Yeah. I remember that. I remember enjoying that. That was a part of a shoot 'em up as well.
Yeah,
that was a scary one.
It was good.
That was a scary one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The old days. The next one, Pete, is Silent Madness in 3D.
I've not seen it. No.
Nah, me neither. I was too busy to look for it as well, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So we've not seen that. If anybody in the chat has seen any of these movies and they're not seen, and you have an opinion on it, let us know.
Let us know.
We might take that opinion and put it where it needs to go.
Yeah.
But these are all pretty obscure films, like, to be honest, I think.
I was going to say, mate, I quite like the poster. The poster's pretty fun.
It is, yeah. Right, and there is Silent Night, Deadly Night, Pete. Are you a fan of this movie?
I watched this for the first time last night.
Pete. It wasn't last night, but I saw it for the first time this week. Mate,
I've got to say it, mate, right? I loved Silent Night, Deadly Night. I watched it. I don't know what it was, mate. Right after the first scene where the parents get killed and all that, it's really quite nasty. But I was just giggling quite a lot, and I giggled through most of the movie. I think I watched this movie very much like a John Landis comedy, and I had a fucking blast with it. And I think very much that's what it is. It was
crazy, man.
Exactly. It was this kid who you should never put near Santa Claus and who doesn't want nothing to do with Santa Claus, and he just keeps getting thrown into situations, and it stars this kind of like jock-looking, Chad-looking dude as a grown-up kind of like a Santa Claus hater who ends up getting drunk and getting dressed in a Santa suit, and you really quite feel for him type of thing, but everything goes completely wrong for him, and he ends up being this mad killer. I laughed all the way through this film. Like this is a horror comedy, not a straight horror film. This is a horror comedy, like, and it's a bloody good horror comedy. I had a blast with it, mate. I had a really fun time. It's horror notes, and it's gone. It's nasty kills. It gets right. The kills are quite nasty when it wants to be, but I don't know if it was intentionally a comedy. I think it must have been intentionally a comedy, but it very much hit home like a John Landis comedy. You know, I saw bits of Animal House in there. I saw bits of Blues Brothers in there. You know, the kind of dark humor that was going through there, and loads of Kentucky Fried Movie in there as well. Like, I as a comedy, I had an absolute fucking blast with this film, mate. But I've got a funny feeling by the look on your face that you didn't.
This one left me cold, man, Pete. I watched it and it just seemed like a run-of-the-mill slasher, and the only difference was it's set at Christmas and the dude's dressed as Santa. I didn't get it, man, Pete. I didn't get it at all. But I'm happy you liked it, mate. Seriously, I'm happy you liked it.
I did.
It was crazy that you liked it. I'm happy.
It's going to be a difficult one for me, mate, because I would put this at A or B, but I'm thinking you're looking at C or D. Is that right?
Let's stick it in the B. It's fine. If you think it's, I mean, I might say something if you want to. If you insisted on putting it in A, but if you want to put it in B, mate, Pete, that's fine. That's fine.
Let's do compromise. Let's go B.
Yeah. Okay. Can't believe that, Pete.
Honestly, mate, I just laughed my ass off all the way through this film. Like, it's like I say, that Chad looking dude, that you know, his facial expressions were just fucking amazing. Every time a Santa Claus came near him, and that he'd be like, we're gonna what? You know, it was fucking. Anyway, I had a blast, but like I say, it came across as a comedy for me, like, but a really good comedy at that.
Guess you have to be in the mood for it, I guess.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
All right, let's move swiftly on.
Moving on.
Okay. Splatter
University. Yeah, have you seen that, Pete?
I have not seen Splatter University, mate.
Me neither. Let's stick that up there.
No problem. Why would you? You know, if a university was called Splatter University, why would you enroll to that university? You know what I mean?
Totally, yeah.
Hey, fuck that.
And the next one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Not bad. Terror in the Isles. Are you a fan of this doc, Pete?
I watched this for the first time last night. Also, mate, I had a really good time.
It's good, man. I like it.
Yeah, you know, it was less horror doc, more kind of like video montage. You know, they used music and they would have different themes of horror and use different horror clips.
Yeah.
What I loved about it was, you know, they had access to absolutely fucking everything in this movie. You know, there was nobody not given permission to show their crucial scenes in this documentary, which was good. I enjoyed this a lot more than I've enjoyed the recent Talking Heads with clips documentaries, or what they call In Search of Darkness, that are on Shudder. You know, Terror in the Isles is A grade compared to those, and plus it's always nice to see Donald Pleasance waxing lyrical about horror movies, and is it Nancy Allen is there as well. I had a good time with it, mate. I will say towards the latter end of it, you know, it's for some reason there's less Donald Pleasance, and it's just video montage, so it does get a little bit samey towards the end. But you know, I'm a horror fan, and you know, there's shitloads of horror movies there in here, and you know, they pick really good. Yeah, exactly. So I like it. For me, this is a solid B.
Yeah, cool. I'll go along with that, Pete. I watched this for the first time absolutely years ago. Must have been in the 90s. I got it on VHS, and a lot of the movies I had not seen. Like, that was the first time I'd seen clips of Alone in the Dark, stuff like that. So it was nice seeing those. I didn't even mind that some of the movies weren't even horror films. They were just like talking about suspense. So they had like Nighthawks in there with Sylvester Stallone, which didn't seem. I don't quite know why they chose to put that in there, but anyway, I enjoyed watching all the clips.
With his wig on at the end, where he turns around, and he's like, "That goes,
that doesn't it?"
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good clips. Nice little bits in between with, like you said, Donald Pleasance and Nancy Allen, and like the montages were really good. The way they grouped them together with different themes, they did really well. Yeah, I think it's a pretty classic documentary that I think got a cinema release back in the day,
Oh,
which I
wow.
totally missed.
Wow.
Yeah, let's stick that in. What do you say, B?
B for me, yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally happy with that. Let's stick that in B.
Nice.
Terra Niles. And the next one is called The Power. I've not seen The Power. Have you seen it?
I've not seen it either. I quite like the poster though, Vass.
Yeah, it's a cool poster. So, want to give us a quick synopsis of that, Pete? Because I can't work out what it's about just from that.
No problem. Let me have a look. The Power.
When will mankind learn not it can be destroyed? Okay.
Right, it says a tiny Aztec doll causes trouble for 3 Los Angeles high school students when the evil spirit that possesses it takes over their bodies. It's a possession movie, dude.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's nobody famous that I can see or anything like that, but it's a possession movie, so it might be worth a little ditty. It's rated 4.5 out of 10 on IMDb, so
not great.
Maybe not the greatest. Yeah, absolutely.
I was figuring it was going to be some sort of like psychic film, you know, they got some psychic powers or something. But, okay,
might
be interesting. And the next movie, Pete, is The Terminator.
The Terminator for me.
Anything about Terminator?
Yeah, listen, the Terminator for me is actually, you know, out of the Terminator movies is my personal favorite. I know you prefer 2. I prefer 1. I think it's great. I think the standards and effects are absolutely brilliant. I think it's Arnie. You know, the beauty of the Terminator is when I first watched this, I didn't know what to expect from Arnie in this movie. So, you know, all his trademarks that he kind of kept over the years, he kind of come up with this in this movie. Lance Henriksen's fucking awesome in this film. Bill Paxton's in there and he's great too. Obviously, Linda Hamilton's really good. Michael Biehn's awesome in this film. Some of his monologues in this film are fucking brilliant. And, you know, it's James Cameron doing his B-movie type horror, but he's doing it in an A-grade way. I think it's a stunning film, this, mate. It's S tier for me.
Yeah.
Now that was a good movie. I love this movie. It was genius.
Yeah, I love Terminator, man. I absolutely adore the Terminator. I do prefer the second one, but that's the action dude to me that loves it.
Yeah.
But this one, I can't fault it, man. It's brilliant. Brilliant. I love it. Let's stick it in S tier, Pete.
Happy days. Happy days.
There you go. Terminator goes in S tier.
And some good company in S tier. Some good company on that road.
What have we got left?
2.
Absolutely, yeah. And the next one, penultimate movie, is The Initiation, which I watched today.
Right. I've not seen The Initiation, Vass, so go for it. What's it about?
Let's see if I got any notes on this. Okay, I didn't write any notes on it at all. Okay, so yeah, The Initiation. It's a run-of-the-mill slasher movie. It's about this little girl who, so her parents are having an affair. Her mom's having an affair. She walks into the room and I think she doesn't know what's happening. This is like a dream. So she walks into this room and she thinks it's her parents in the bed, and some dude comes in and they have a fight and he gets set on fire. But it turns out, I mean, they tell you this right at the beginning, that the person who comes in is actually the husband and the wife's having an affair. And so it's the husband that gets burnt up. And then later on, the wifey marries the lover and they send the dad away to some asylum somewhere. And now she's grown up and she's still having these dreams. And then all the people around her start getting killed. There's been a breakout at the asylum and a bunch of people have been escaped. And all the way through, you think it's the dad that's come back to kill all her friends and kill the husband and the wife and this, that, and the other. But it turns out that she had a twin sister, and it was the twin sister that was killing everybody. And, and that's it. I mean, it was just not very good.
And did the girl forget that she had a twin sister?
Well, what it was, I think she was saying that she lost her memory. She lost her memory, so she couldn't remember anything. She had an accident, lost the memory, and she couldn't remember anything from before the accident. So she couldn't remember who her dad was. She thought that was her dad, and that wasn't her dad. Obviously, while she was growing up, her dad was her dad, innit? So, yeah, it's a run-of-the-mill slasher, mate. I'm not a big fan of slashers. This one was not very good. All the kills are like off-screen, which is, I don't know why they did that. So you just kind of see the aftermath of everything. So if someone gets stabbed, you just see them with the thing sticking out of them. You don't see them getting stabbed. You don't see heads getting chopped off. So yeah, it wasn't very good, mate. The last like 20 minutes takes place in like in a mall, and the killer's just running around a mall killing people. Nah, it wasn't very good, mate.
Man, that's a shame.
The poster's nice though.
Yeah, I like the poster.
It's not very good, mate. I'll stick it in D.
Okay.
I got through it, but I was like, another one of those movies where you just, I've watched it. I can say I watched it, but I didn't enjoy it at the time.
Yeah, understand.
So that's the initiation. The last one is Toxic Avenger, mate. Have you seen it?
I have seen the Toxic Avenger. Yes.
Have you, mate?
Yeah,
I've seen any of them.
I think like 4 or 5. There's quite a few. Yeah. I remember I saw it when I was very young, and then I went to the Dead by Dawn festival, and I answered a question, and someone threw a DVD copy of the Toxic Avenger at me. So I ended up watching it. Again. So it's trauma. It's exactly what you would expect from a trauma movie. It's low budget. Doesn't really look fantastic. None of the acting's fantastic or anything like that. The storyline's typical superhero fare. This geeky janitor dude who, all the chicks don't like, gets beaten up by the jocks, has a mishap, and he ends up turning into Toxic Avenger. And chaos ensues, etc., etc. It's it goes for laughs. I would say 90% of the laughs don't land, but it's charming enough, and it's breezy enough, and it's done with a light heart, so you can't really hate it or anything like that. But it's not groundbreaking. I think the reason why it was semi-successful is because ultimately it's watchable, and there's not too many trauma films, if we're being honest with ourselves, that are watchable.
I'm not a fan of trauma at all. I think I've seen one trauma movie, and I think I've seen Romeo and Juliet. That's the only one I've seen. It wasn't terrible, but they're all cheap, aren't they? They're super cheap movies.
That's it.
And they're really goofy, and they're not. It's not why I go for horror for the stuff you get from trauma, but I think some people like it. So what would you rate it?
I'm going to give this. I'm going to give it a D, mate. I'm going to give it D. Yeah, D.
I was thinking you were going to say D.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Right, and that is the last one from 1984. So all that's left to do is to count up the scores.
Get the calculator out, mate.
Oh, at the bottom, I'm going to be at the top. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready, bud.
Right, so S tier, we've got Nightmare on Elm Street, Threads, Ghostbusters, Gremlins, and The Terminator. Wow, that's a bunch of fantastic films there. And that makes 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 points there.
Right.
And in A tier, we've got Impulse and Temple of Doom, two more great movies. That's 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
And in B tier, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, which is 20 points.
20 points, okay.
And in C tier, we've got 3 points. Chud, Invitation to Hell, Mutilator. D, we've got 5, so no points there. And in F, we've got 4. Fatal Games, Monster Dog, Rats, Satan's Blade. 4 terrible, awful, crappy, shitty movies. -4.
Well, mate, I think we've had this score before, but the total is 50 points.
50 again?
Yeah, 50 points.
So 1984 gives us 50 points. Let's, I think, go to the comments, and then we'll just wrap that up a bit.
No problem, man.
find it. There we go. Oh, that was the last one, I think. Dave says, "Cool, thank you, Pete. I'm at DaveBoosty1 on Instagram."
I will look you up, man.
Dave says, "But yeah, you're actually right, Vast. The movie was a mess, but it was great to see Alice Cooper in a movie. I agree. I think that was part of what influenced my rating." Dave says, "Evil Dead, I heard, doesn't have one play mode, and then when the servers go down eventually for that game, the game's just going to be a paperweight because you can't play it unless you're online. Have they not changed that?"
What's that? Sorry, mate.
Evil Dead, is it? Do you have to play online, or can you just go wander around and?
No, you can. There's a single player mode, mate, which is the only way that I play it, mate. So you can wander around, and it's a proper story mode, which is nice. You can do the challenges as well. They're really fucking good, but they're bloody hard. But you can just wander around without having to interact with other gamers. Thank Christ.
Right. Dave says Dave Boosty1 is his Instagram handle. Paris the Film Girl. I still have to watch Friday the 13th Part 4 on Paramount Plus. Yeah, it's not the best one, but it's a good one. Dave says, "I love Friday the 13th game, but I still have it. Bought it a year after it came out. Have you guys played it yet, or have it too? Oh, you played that game, haven't you, Pete?"
Yeah, I've got it. But unfortunately, that game you have to interact with other fucking gamers, and it's a nightmare because you've got other people from I don't really talk to strangers well online. That makes any sense in that. So you have to talk with other gamers. They did introduce kind of like a Friday the 13th nostalgia mode where you can just have a wander around all the film sets and stuff like that. And you turn over pictures and it's got interesting little tidbits about the Friday the 13th movies. I like that, but it's not a patch on the Evil Dead game. And from the looks of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, it looks like it's very similar ilk to the Evil Dead game. Yeah, I tell you what, this is not horror related, mate. But this week, if any gamers are on there, like I've started playing this game called Stray, and you're just a cat that's wandering around, and you end up going on quests, mate. I found myself just losing hours and hours and hours on this game. It's immense, mate. It's like Blade Runner utopian future, and you're this little cat that you could potentially save the world. Like, it's fucking nuts, mate.
Sounds mad.
It is. It's anyway. Back on the horror movies, but yeah.
Dave said, "Was that on PS5? Is it?"
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah.
Dave says, "I haven't seen Silent Madness or that Satan's Blade movie either." Well, you should be thankful you haven't seen Satan's Blade, mate. If you see it, run the other way. Dave says, "I like Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. I think I might have seen that one. That's the like a really goofy one, that I think. Even though they showed almost half of it. Half it seemed off. Oh, okay. They recapped the first one in the second one. 7 out of a boosty 10. Here, I'll give it a B-. Was like it. Dave says, "I love watching documentaries and clips of horror movies and documentaries, but Tearing the Aisles, it just felt weak. It felt flat to me. Like a glorified VHS coming attractions type clip show." Fair enough. Okay. Dave says, "I don't like the Search of Darkness. I've already seen the first two, and it's a lot of awesome interviews, but it's only like 2 minutes each, and obviously some you want to see more of."
Yeah, well, I would agree with you there. That as entertaining it is, and it is bright and breezy, the 3 hours go past quite quickly, I guess. But they don't really address any movies with any meat on it or anything like that. There's no in-depth details or anything like that. It's half the time it's all the stuff that you knew anyway. But the talking heads are usually quite likable people, so you get on with it. But there's no real meat on those bones.
Yeah, I still don't like that dead meat guy who comes on that Search of Darkness. I hate that dude. He's my nemesis.
Oh yeah.
Can't stand him. Dave says, I'd have to rewatch Tearing the Aisles again, even just for Donald Pleasance. But again, my opinion still stands. I don't overall enjoy it fully. It was way too clip show. Dave says, "I'll give Terminator 9.5 out of 10, an A. Toxic Avenger, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Here I'll give it a B. A fun, campy, sloppy, soupy kind of romp, and it was kind of funny." Yeah, trauma just ate my bag, mate. Right, so that was 1984, and it was what did we say? 50
points.
50 points. Okay, so let's have a look at the leaderboard. Let's have a look.
Okay.
Right, so these are from all the years we've done, and I've done previously. So 1984 is joint third place
Wow.
with 1982. So that's
Wow.
pretty good. That not bad.
That is. Yeah, that is a good year in horror for sure.
Mm-hmm. And in last place, 1985, mate, 42 points.
Wow.
Right. So what are we going to do next week, Pete? That is the question.
Well, you've done 1985. You've done 1986.
I have, yeah. So
should we do one?
Go on.
I was going to say, should we do one from the 70s? Should we do a 70s?
Do you want to go with 1978 like we were going to do last week?
78, yeah, 78 or 79. You choose.
Let's do 78, mate. I think we've talked about it a few times. Let's just get it done, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I've got a feeling 78 is a good year, but I might be wrong. I've been wrong before, Vass, with my feelings. So, yes. But yeah, let's have a look at 78, see what we can find out when we were all but 2 years old, mate.
2 years old, yeah. Yeah, okay. Right, so that is decided. Next week is going to be 1978 and the best year of horror. We're going to go through a tier list and see where that ranks in our leaderboard and see how well it does. Yeah, I think it might be a good year. I think it's the first time we've done a year in the 70s, so that's going to be something different for us. So yeah, I'll look forward to that.
And also, mate, you know, this is the last Sunday in November, man. By November, we'll be coming into Christmas season. So we'll, at some point, have to start thinking about Christmas horror movies, man. I know we did Silent Night, Deadly Night this week, but we'll have to start having to think about it, mate. But,
maybe for Christmas week, we'll do like a top 5 or top 10 Christmas horrors. What do you think?
Great,
and get them all watched and see what we think.
Absolutely.
Let's get our thinking caps on and sort that one out.
Definitely.
Right, so I think we're pretty much done here. Let's see if there's any more comments left. Dave says, I always play Friday the 13th one-player mode against the bots only. I just haven't sprung for the money to go online. Plus, the people online that play it, I've seen on YouTube videos, a lot are terrible. Yeah. So, thanks very much for joining us, guys. We will see you soon. Sooner than you think. It'll be next Sunday, where we're going to do 1978 and see where that ranks in the best year in horror. I hope you join us there. Thank you for joining us today. We've had a really nice time. Have you enjoyed yourself, Pete?
Always enjoy myself. Always a pleasure. Never a chore, Vassy. Thank you for having us again.
I always like having you with me, mate. So thank you, everybody, and we will see you soon. And goodbye. Have a good week.
Thank you.